Chapter 2541, What are your conditions? About 100 miles away from Laikung lies Laishan Mountain. Laishan Mountain is well known as the birthplace of both Laikung City and the Lei family. A long time ago, the Lei family was just an ordinary family living at the foot of Laishan Mountain. However, after some fortuitous events, the Lei family began to prosper, growing rapidly and eventually becoming a powerful family. With their newfound strength, the Lei family established Laikung 100 miles away from Laishan Mountain. Despite their success, the Lei family did not completely block access to Laishan Mountain. Every once in a while, they would open the mountain to the public. Everyone knows that the real foundation of the Lei family lies within Laishan Mountain, where an origin spiritual vein is located. However, the Lei family is so powerful that no one dares to compete with them for this spiritual vein. Xiaowu exclaimed, "Master, you actually want to go after Laishan Mountain?" Bang! Before Xiaowu could finish speaking, Lin Moyu knocked on her head. The knock was not light. Xiaowu covered her head with tears in her eyes. "Master, can you be gentler? Xiaowu will be knocked silly." Lin Moyu said unhappily, "I think you're already silly without being knocked. Do you think you can just take over Laishan Mountain because you want to?" Xiaowu whispered, "What does the master plan to do then?" Lin Moyu said, "I just want a quota. There is a core area in Laishan Mountain that is an excellent place for cultivation, comparable to many local cultivation spots. However, every time Laishan Mountain is opened, the number of places available to enter the core area is limited, and the competition is very fierce." Xiaowu asked, "Master, do you want to go to the core area to cultivate?" Lin Moyu shook his head, "Not me, Xiaoyu." Xiaoyu was slightly startled. She didn't expect Lin Moyu to want her to go to the core area to cultivate. She instinctively said, "Master, Xiaoyu doesn't need it." Lin Moyu looked at her, "I have the final say on whether you need it or not." Xiaoyu retreated immediately, but her heart was full of emotion. Xiaowu chuckled, "Master is so kind to Xiaoyu. But are you really sure you can cure Peng Peng?" Lin Moyu said, "I'm 50% sure." Lin Moyu would not exaggerate, being 90% sure is practically being 100% sure. Xiaowu chuckled, "Then let's wait. The Lei family will come to ask the master for help in their time of need." In the main hall of the Lei family, the head of the Lei family, Lei Junying, sat on the main seat, slowly drinking tea. Several elders of the Lei family were also present, including Lei Junying's elders and peers. They had just finished a discussion. Lei Junying put down the teacup and said in a deep voice, "The matter of opening Laishan Mountain this time has been decided. The quota for the core area will follow the previous rules. The day after tomorrow is the annual auction of the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. We will auction off 3 quotas for the core area." As the head of the family, Lei Junying's words were law in the Lei family. However, he was not a dictator. He often discussed matters with the elders and brothers in the family. At this moment, Lei Sanxiang strode into the hall and nodded slightly to everyone. Lei Junying smiled and said, "Third brother, is Peng Peng asleep?" Lei Sanxiang hummed, "Already asleep." After he finished speaking, he sat in his seat without saying a word. Everyone in the family knew his character and didn't find it strange. The group discussed some other matters and then dispersed. In a blink of an eye, the hall was empty, with only Lei Sanxiang still sitting there motionless. Lei Junying tapped the table with his fingers, and an invisible force enveloped the entire hall. "Third brother, if you have anything to say, you can tell me now." Lei Sanxiang said, "Brother, Peng Peng has made some new friends these days." Lei Junying nodded, "I know that Peng Peng has new friends. That's a good thing." Lei Sanxiang continued, "One of them said he has a 30% chance of curing Peng Peng." The teacup in Lei Junying's hand shook slightly, and his eyes showed deep thought. "What does he want?" Lei Sanxiang shook his head, "I haven't asked him to help yet." Lei Sanxiang recounted the conversation between himself and Lin Moyu, including his impressions of Lin Moyu. Lei Junying thought for a moment, "Tomorrow, I will go to see him in person." The next night, the moon had just risen, and Xiaoyu had not started practicing boxing when a fragrance drifted into the yard. Xiaoyu smiled, knowing who it was. In the fragrance, Xiaoyu's stomach gurgled again, and her desire for food was aroused. Xiaowu had already run over to open the door. Lin Moyu looked outside the yard and muttered to himself, "It's a different person today." Outside the gate, Peng Peng rushed in with food. "Delicious food is here." Behind Peng Peng, Lei Junying walked in slowly. Lei Zhengying had an extraordinary demeanor. As the head of the Lei family, he had been in a high position for a long time. He didn't look as serious as Lei Sanxiang, but his majesty was much greater. His appearance was somewhat similar to Lei Sanxiang, and his eyebrows also resembled Susu's. Lin Moyu had already guessed his identity and slowly stood up, clasping his fists towards Lei Zhengying. Junior greets Senior Lei. As the head of the Lei family, Lei Zhengying had the cultivation of a Daozan, so Lin Moyu naturally dared not neglect him. Lei Zhengying looked at Lin Moyu, his eyes slightly fixed, and then he smiled. Such a young Tianzun, a young talent, is really rare. Lin Moyu knew that his age could not be hidden from a Daozan, and he accepted Lei Zhengying's compliment frankly. Senior, you are too kind. I am just lucky. Lei Zhengying laughed. How can there be so much good luck in the world? He came to Lin Moyu, sat down naturally, and poured himself a cup of tea very naturally, as if he were the host. But it did not make anyone feel awkward. Lin Moyu smiled and said, why did Senior Lei come here in person today? Lei Zhengying replied, I came to meet Peng Peng's new friend and to see you by the way. He looked at Lin Moyu, and many meanings were expressed clearly in his eyes. Lin Moyu naturally understood. Junior has a secret method to see the soul, so I have some research on the soul. From the first day I met Peng Peng, I knew that she had two souls in one body, and I also knew that this condition was congenital. Because I don't know the specific reason, I am only 30% sure. I think Senior already knows this. Lei Zhengying looked at Lin Moyu with some doubt. Suddenly, an immortal flame rose in Lin Moyu's eyes, and Lei Zhengying immediately felt as if he were being spied on by Lin Moyu. This kind of spying went straight to the soul, and even as a Daozan, he couldn't completely block it. Lin Moyu only took a look with the eye of the dead and then put it away. He knew that Lei Zhengying already understood. Lei Zhengying's expression changed, as if he believed Lin Moyu's words, and he asked in a low voice, what are your conditions? Chapter 2542, 2542. Chapter 2542, no matter who you are. I save your daughter, and you pay the price. This is a deal. Brothers should settle accounts clearly. If the price is agreed upon in advance, everyone will feel at ease. Although Lei Zhengying had not yet asked Lin Moyu to save Peng Peng, he already hoped that Lin Moyu would help. Therefore, Lin Moyu could make any conditions he wanted. Lin Moyu did not need to hide his intentions and directly stated his request. Next time Leishan is open, I want a place in the core area. Lei Zhengying frowned slightly. The place in the core area is useless for you. Lin Moyu shook his head. Not for me, but for my disciple. Lei Zhengying followed Lin Moyu's gaze and saw Xiaoyu practicing boxing. Xiaoyu was very obedient. Even if there was something delicious, she would practice boxing first. Her punches were sharp and vigorous. Although she was not yet in the super god realm, she was already quite skilled. Lei Zhengying looked at her a few times, with a little surprise in his eyes, and then smiled suddenly. Friend Lin, you have accepted a good disciple. There was a hint of envy in his tone, as he obviously recognized that Xiaoyu was born with a jade soul. Lin Moyu smiled. So, I want a place for her to practice in the core area. Lei Zhengying nodded. Indeed, with such good talent, a trip to Leishan will be very beneficial. He believed Lin Moyu's words and took out a jade token. Peng Peng's situation is recorded in it. You can read it, but keep it confidential. Lin Moyu said nothing and made a soul oath, promising not to reveal the secrets inside. He knew that the Lei family could not tell him everything. What they could share might include some secrets, but not the core ones. The Lei family had developed to this point, and as the head of the family, Lei Zhengying was definitely not an easy person. He knew very well what could be said and what could not. After Lin Moyu made the oath, Lei Zhengying handed him the jade token. Lin Moyu quickly read it and understood Peng Peng's situation. The jade token then turned into powder. Lin Moyu closed his eyes to think, and Lei Zhengying did not disturb him, slowly drinking tea. It was not until Lin Moyu opened his eyes again that Lei Zhengying asked, how is it? How sure are you now? Lin Moyu said, 60%. 60% was already a very high probability and was totally worth a gamble. Lin Moyu did not tell the whole truth. In fact, he was now almost 100% sure. Lei Zhengying was overjoyed, but on the surface, he remained calm. What do you need me to do? Lin Moyu shook his head. Nothing. I use my own secret method, not elixirs. Lei Zhengying then asked, when can we start? Lin Moyu said, in a while, wait for Peng Peng to fall asleep. The two drank tea and chatted, watching the three play until late at night. They were tired and yawned. In the blink of an eye, Lei Pengpeng was already asleep on the ground. Lin Moyu came to Pengpeng and said to Lei Zhengying, "Senior, no matter what happens, please don't disturb me." Lin Moyu's words were a reminder to Lei Zhengying that what might happen could exceed his expectations. Lei Zhengying's expression became serious. "I understand. Please proceed, fellow Taoist Lin." Not only would he not disturb Lin Moyu, but he would also ensure that no one else would. Lin Moyu nodded, squatted down beside Lei Pengpeng, and turned his two fingers into swords, tapping her forehead. The aura of the heavenly Venerable surged wildly, and powerful life force instantly swept through Lei Pengpeng's body. There are strict rules in Licheng. No matter who you are, even if you are a Daozan, you are not allowed to take action in Licheng. Although Lin Moyu did not take action, his full momentum was enough to be judged as taking action. For a moment, there were lightning and thunder in the sky, and the formation began to operate automatically. A formation spirit appeared and quickly locked onto the courtyard where Lin Moyu was. Countless people were awakened, and their eyes turned towards the sky. In just a few seconds, the courtyard where Lin Moyu was located became the center of attention. "Retreat," Lei Zhengying's heavy voice sounded, and in an instant, the formation stopped operating, and the formation spirit disappeared. The next second, Lei Zhengying rose into the air, and his sharp eyes swept around. All the Tianzun who looked over groaned, and their souls were shocked. Even some of the Daozan retreated in shock. Although they were all Daozan, there were different levels among them. Lei Zhengying was not an ordinary Daozan, and there was more than one Daozan in the Lei family. He could become the head of the Lei family, and his power was not just for show. Lei Zhengying stood there and became the focus of the world, and no one dared to peek. Someone flew from the Lei family at a very fast speed and arrived at Lei Zhengying's side in an instant. Lei Sanxiang asked, "Brother, what's going on?" Lei Zhengying looked at the yard. "Friend Lin is rescuing Pengpeng. Let's not disturb him." Lei Sanxiang nodded and stood side by side with Lei Zhengying, staring at the yard with a little nervousness. Lin Moyu's body surged with majestic vitality, quickly covering every corner of Lei Pengpeng's body, and then flowed towards her soul world. Lei Pengpeng was only in the super god realm, and her soul world could not stop Lin Moyu's power at all, and was quickly infiltrated. In her soul world, Lin Moyu condensed into shape, looking at the two souls, one big and one small, entangled together. Lin Moyu thought about the contents recorded in the jade token and compared the situation in front of him with the contents in the token. Lei Pengpeng's current situation was both caused by innate factors and not. It could only be considered half innate. More than a decade ago, a group of people from the Lei family entered Leishan Mountain and were attacked. In a fierce battle, Lei Sanxiang almost died. It was Lei Pengpeng's mother who was attacked while protecting Lei Sanxiang. She was mortally wounded and, upon returning, was found to be pregnant with Lei Pengpeng. She managed to hold on and gave birth to Lei Pengpeng before passing away. Lei Pengpeng's injury was also sustained at that time and was brought out from her mother's womb. It was not present from the moment of conception but was a result of her mother's injury. Therefore, it could only be considered a semi-congenital injury. If it were a true congenital injury, the difficulty would be much higher. This semi-congenital injury was much easier to treat. Everything must have a root cause. Lin Moyu found the root cause and then had to prescribe the right treatment. No wonder Lei Sanxiang treats Lei Pengpeng so well. Besides being his niece, she is also the daughter of his savior. She was named Lei Pengpeng. Pengpeng means endless vitality. I'm sorry, Lei Pengpeng had two souls in her body since birth. The two souls were entangled and could not be separated. The other soul constantly fed on Lei Pengpeng's vitality. To keep Lei Pengpeng alive, the Lei family tried every possible way to give her all kinds of good things to eat. Lei Pengpeng grew up eating natural materials and treasures, and her cultivation was pushed to the super god realm. Unfortunately, the growth rate of Lei Pengpeng's own soul was far less than that of the other soul. Lei Pengpeng was still only in the super god realm, while the other soul had reached the god realm. Its appetite had been growing, and Lei Pengpeng couldn't hold on for much longer. No matter who you are, you will die today. You have eaten so many good things, and you will have to vomit them all out. Chapter 2543, 2543. Chapter 2543, Choose to believe in miracles. Lei Pengpeng has two souls in one body, one large and one small, entangled with each other and difficult to distinguish. The small soul is in the super god realm and is Lei Pengpeng's original soul. The large soul has reached the godly realm and comes from Leishan Mountain. It is unknown what kind of creature it is. The large soul almost completely envelops Lei Pengpeng's original soul, with 4/5 of the wrapping already completed. When the wrapping is fully completed, Lei Pengpeng's soul will be devoured, leading to her death. At that time, Lei Pengpeng's body may still be alive, but it will become a living dead. If a will is born, it will not be hers. In Lin Moyu's perception, this large soul does not have much consciousness, only some instincts. This soul gives Lin Moyu a gloomy and evil feeling. How can such a thing exist in Leishan Mountain? What is the Lei family hiding? Lin Moyu knew that this was a secret related to the Lei family, and they would never tell him. The information he received did not specify what attacked Lei Pengpeng's mother at that time. Even the Lei family did not want people to know that there were other creatures in Leishan Mountain. Lin Moyu did not want to delve into it. He took money from others and helped them eliminate disasters. What he had to do now was to save Lei Pengpeng. The magnificent vitality finally filled Lei Pengpeng's soul world. The large soul seemed very interested in Lin Moyu's vitality. It squirmed wildly, wanting to devour it. Lin Moyu was not stingy, eat if you want. A large amount of vitality was sent over immediately. The vitality first entered Lei Pengpeng's soul body, flowed around in the soul body, and then was swallowed by the large soul. The large soul had already taken deep root in Lei Pengpeng's soul and could not be distinguished. Lin Moyu quickly outlined the location of the fusion of the two souls through the flow of vitality. In Lin Moyu's eyes, countless tentacles grew out of the large soul body, like thin needles, deeply piercing into Lei Pengpeng's soul. These needle-like tentacles constantly extracted power from Lei Pengpeng's soul to meet their own needs. It was like a terrible parasite. No matter how many natural treasures Lei Pengpeng ate, they would eventually benefit from it. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the life force sucked away by it was instantly transformed into the power of death. The power of death has the property of corroding everything. After entering the origin continent, it changed from the law of life and death to the avenue of life and death in the origin continent, and its power was stronger than before. Lin Moyu attacked the soul of the godly realm with the power of the avenue of heavenly venerable realm, causing great damage to it almost instantly. It screamed in fear, and its soul body shook continuously. At the same time, the thin needles rooted in Lei Pengpeng's soul ejected powerful energy. Under the impact of this force, Lei Pengpeng's soul was immediately severely damaged and almost collapsed on the spot. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. He knew this was the defense mechanism of the large soul. This was telling him that if he killed it, Lei Pengpeng's soul would also be destroyed. Lei Pengpeng's soul body was hurt, and it immediately reflected in her flesh. Fine blood gushed out from her body, and in a flash, Lei Pengpeng turned into a person covered in wounds, with blood oozing from her 7 orifices, looking extremely scary. Lei Zhengying's heart tightened suddenly, and he instinctively wanted to stop it, but remembering Lin Moyu's warning, he stopped again. Lei Sanxiang was also nervous. What's going on? Lei Zhengying whispered, believe in fellow Taoist Lin. Lei Sanxiang suppressed his inner uneasiness and, after hesitating again and again, could only bear not to act. They all knew that Lei Pengpeng was now a dying horse, and if she was not treated, she would not live long. In the soul world, Lin Moyu sneered, I guess others would be helpless at this point, but it's a pity that it doesn't work on me. The life force originally in the soul world surged wildly, densely entering Lei Pengpeng's soul body, and began to help her repair the injuries of her soul body. At the same time, the law of time gathered in his hand, and Lin Moyu pointed out with one finger, covering the two souls. Origin level magic. Time curse. Instantly, the magic was activated, and the two souls, one large and one small, fell into a state of time chaos. The law of space followed and merged with the law of time to form a time and space barrier. While the soul was in a state of time chaos, Lin Moyu made it fall deeper and enter another time and space simultaneously. Not only that, but the star charm lich flew out and cast the great way of illusion to confuse it, making it unaware of where it was and completely unaware of the damage. The power of death continued to exert force and constantly corroded it. At the same time, the power of life continued to repair Lei Pengpeng's soul body. Lin Moyu was very careful. Lei Pengpeng's soul was too fragile. If he was not careful, her soul would be scattered. In Lin Moyu's plan, it didn't matter how badly Lei Pengpeng's soul was injured, but she must not die. Once she died, he could only turn Lei Pengpeng into a resurrected person. There was no other way. As long as she didn't die, he had a way. In the courtyard, Lei Jungying and Lei Sanxiang looked at each other. They could not hide their shock. Lei Jungying exclaimed, "Fellow Taoist Lin is indeed a genius. He actually combines time, space, and life, three great ways in one." Lei Sanxiang also sighed, "Yes, it is extremely difficult for others to cultivate one great way, but fellow Taoist Lin actually cultivated three great ways at the same time, and they are all extraordinary." Lei Jungying said, "The most important thing is that these three great ways are very difficult. I really don't know how fellow Taoist Lin did it." Lei Sanxiang said, "Maybe, this time Peng Peng is really saved." "Let's hope so." Hope surged in their hearts. Lin Moyu's magic made them feel incredible. Cultivating three extremely difficult great ways at the same time and reaching the Tianzun realm is simply a miracle. Maybe this time, another miracle can be created. Under Lin Moyu's careful manipulation, the evil soul body was rapidly dissolved. Time and space were divided into two, time was chaotic, and the illusion was confusing. It had no idea that it was dying and had no idea what was happening. Until the end, it finally came to the brink of death. Facing death, it finally woke up, and an instinctive consciousness emerged. "You can't kill me. If you kill me, she will die too." This evil soul only had some weak instincts and no real intelligence. It repeated this sentence over and over again, not begging for mercy, but more of a threat, threatening Lin Moyu with Lei Pengpeng's life. Lin Moyu chuckled, "Don't worry, Lei Pengpeng won't die." With a slight sound, the soul body finally collapsed completely, and the real soul flew away. At the same time, the thousands of fine needles pierced into Lei Pengpeng's body collapsed simultaneously. As they collapsed, a wave of power exploded, instantly causing great damage to Lei Pengpeng's soul body. Lin Moyu had long been prepared for this move, and the power of life rushed in frantically to repair the soul body. Originally, in an explosion of this magnitude, the soul body should have collapsed on the spot. However, with the help of the power of life, the soul body was severely damaged but did not collapse on the spot. It's just that the current soul body is in a very bad condition, with more than 80% damage. The power of life can only temporarily maintain stability and cannot repair it. A lot of blood burst out of Lei Pengpeng's body, countless wounds appeared, and her breath fell to the extreme. Although Lei Pengpeng is still alive now, she may die in the next second. Anyone who is not blind can see that there is no hope. Lei Jungying and Lei Sanxiang's faces changed drastically at the same time. In their opinion, Lei Pengpeng's soul had collapsed, and it was impossible to save her. But they still resisted and chose to believe in Lin Moyu and chose to believe in miracles. Chapter 2544, 2544. Chapter 2544. Not accepting it means you are not giving me face. Countless cracks appeared in Lei Pengpeng's soul world, and it was collapsing. Even Lin Moyu's life force could only slow down the collapse but not reverse it. Lin Moyu had anticipated this result. The two souls had been intertwined for over a decade, making them difficult to separate. Moreover, the evil soul must have had a backup plan. If it died, Lei Pengpeng would also die. This was its way of ensuring survival, making it nearly impossible for others to deal with it. If it completely devoured Lei Pengpeng's soul, it might even inherit her memories and become her. However, in front of Lin Moyu, all its methods were ineffective. Lin Moyu decisively killed it, only allowing it to strike one last blow. At the final moment, Lei Pengpeng's soul did not collapse. As long as her soul did not dissipate, there was hope. It's a death sentence for others, but not for me. A spiritual flower fell from the world tree and, through the connected soul, floated into Lei Pengpeng's soul world. The spiritual flower exuded a strange power, instantly stabilizing Lei Pengpeng's collapsing world. The next second, the spiritual flower flew to Lei Pengpeng's soul and bloomed fully. The beautiful petals, with a strange fragrance, absorbed Lei Pengpeng's soul into them. The flower slowly shrank, like a gentle mother, soothing Lei Pengpeng's wounds. The soul world became stable, and the picture quickly disappeared. The evil soul that Lin Moyu had killed had parasitized Lei Pengpeng for many years, absorbing countless soul powers. After its death, the soul power did not completely disappear, some still remained in the soul world. Now, as Lei Pengpeng's soul recovered, these remaining powers were pulled by the spiritual flower and entered her soul. Lei Pengpeng's injuries not only steadily recovered, but her soul also grew stronger. Lin Moyu softly said, "Eat, try to eat more." These are all yours, now just returning them to their original owner. Watching Lei Pengpeng's recovery, Lin Moyu knew his plan had succeeded. The spiritual flower could indeed repair all injuries, as long as the soul had not completely collapsed. For powerful practitioners, the body can be reshaped, but the soul is the real challenge. Now that the soul can also be restored through the spiritual flower, its value is unimaginable. If this news were to spread, countless people would come to Lin Moyu for help. However, Lin Moyu knew he couldn't do this. If he did, he would likely face people trying to kill him for the treasure. As for the Lei family, Lin Moyu was betting that they would not betray him. Over the years, the Lei family's reputation on the origin continent had been recognized. If he misjudged, he could only consider himself unlucky. Sometimes, cultivation is a gamble. The spiritual flower became smaller and smaller, eventually disappearing. Lei Pengpeng's soul had fully recovered and was much stronger than before. At this point, her soul realm was close to that of a god. With some practice, she could truly become a god. Lei Pengpeng had consumed many precious materials, and with the accumulated medicinal power, she had become a precious medicine herself. By then, a god under 100 years old might appear. After confirming that Lei Pengpeng had fully recovered, Lin Moyu withdrew from her soul world. He stood up slowly, clasped his fists towards Lei Jungying and Lei Sanxiang, and said, "Fortunately, I have fulfilled my mission." The two were overjoyed and descended from the air simultaneously. Lei Jungying approached Lei Pengpeng to check on her. Lei Sanxiang asked, "How is she?" Lei Jungying's eyes were full of disbelief and deep joy. He looked at Lin Moyu and said, "Thank you, Brother Lin." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "This is also Miss Pengpeng's fate." Lei Jungying laughed, "Brother Lin is very talented. Even the 6th level alchemy master couldn't do it, but Brother Lin did it easily." Is it really easy? Lin Moyu was self-aware. Without the spiritual flower, he wouldn't have been sure. Now that he had invested a spiritual flower, he expected to be rewarded. Lei Sanxiang said, "Fellow Taoist Lin, please feel free to ask for anything. As long as the Lei family can do it, we will agree." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Thank you, Senior Sanxiang. The head of the Lei family has already agreed to my request." Lei Jungying nodded, "Don't worry. When Leishan is open in a few days, you will get a place in the core area." Lei Sanxiang said, "So you want a place in the core area? Pengpeng's life is worth more than this. You can think about it and ask for something else." In his eyes, Lei Pengpeng's life was of infinite value. A place in the core area of Leishan was not worth it. Lin Moyu stopped when he saw the good. "Enough, the place in the core area is enough. If it weren't for this little guy, this place could be given up." The more Lin Moyu refused, the more Lei Sanxiang wanted to give it to him. He waved his hand, "Not enough, not enough. If people know about it, they will think that my Lei family is stingy. In the past, we paid a great price to invite a 6th level alchemy master, but it was useless. You don't need to say anything more, Lin Xiaoyu. I will send it to you tomorrow. You must accept it." Lei Sanxiang was in a very good mood at this moment and was very polite to Lin Moyu. He called him Lin Xiaoyu all the time, as if he had regarded Lin Moyu as his good brother. Whether Lin Moyu wanted it or not, he had to give it to him. If Lin Moyu didn't accept it, it meant that he looked down on him. Lin Moyu had no choice but to agree. Lei Jungying took his beloved daughter back to the Lei family and called the servants to bathe and change her clothes. Lei Pengpeng was covered in blood and looked very scary. But even so, she slept very sweetly. Lei Pengpeng had experienced life and death and had truly walked through the gates of hell, so she needed to sleep for a while. Even when the servants bathed and changed her clothes, she didn't wake up. Lei Jungying and Lei Sanxiang were sitting in the courtyard. Lei Jungying said, "Third brother, what do you think of Lin Xiaoyu?" Lei Sanxiang thought for a while. "He is a strange man. It can be seen that he is very young and has good cultivation." Lei Jungying nodded slightly. "Do you know why he wants a quota in the core area of Leishan?" Lei Sanxiang shook his head. "Didn't Lin Xiaoyu say that he wanted it for his disciple, the girl named Xiaoyu?" Lei Jungying said, "Do you know that the Kikai sect is looking for a girl who is born with a soul-suppressing ability these days?" Lei Sanxiang frowned slightly. "Brother, do you mean that Xiaoyu is the person the Kikai sect is looking for?" Lei Jungying nodded. "The timing is just right. There are not so many people with jade souls in the world, and they are of similar age. Lei Sanxiang whispered, "What are you going to do, brother?" Lei Jungying laughed, "We can't let the Kikai sect find what they are looking for, but Lin Xiaoyu is too defenseless. You can give him something tomorrow. Also, tell the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce that the number of places in the core area will be reduced by 1. Chapter 2545, 2545. Chapter 2545. One mountain cannot hold two tigers. Laikeng has become lively these days, with two significant events on the horizon. One is the annual auction of the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. As one of the most powerful chambers of commerce on the entire Origin continent, the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce has branches in several large cities. Each branch holds an auction every year, attracting both major and minor forces. Each branch has its specialties due to different regional resources, and many forces come specifically for these specialties. For example, the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce in Laikeng specializes in thunder-attributed materials and magic weapons. This year's auction is particularly special because it coincides with the opening of Leishan Mountain, and there will be an auction for the quota to enter Leishan. Many practitioners have come specifically for this quota. Leishan belongs to the Lei family, and every time it opens, the Lei family controls the entry quotas. These quotas are divided into two levels, ordinary and core area. There are 1,000 ordinary places and only 10 core area places, making the latter 100 times more valuable. The quotas are divided into three parts. 1. Hanshui Holy Land. The Lei family gives 400 ordinary places and 4 core places to the Hanshui Holy Land, which then distributes them. The Holy Land takes 40% of all places and usually redistributes half of these. 2. Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. The Lei family provides 300 ordinary places and 3 core places to the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce for auction. These places go to the highest bidders, allowing the Lei family to profit. 3. Lei family. The Lei family retains 300 ordinary places and 3 core places for themselves. They usually offer 100 ordinary places through a competition in Laikeng, where participants below the other shore realm can compete for them. The core places are reserved for the family's use. Lin Moyu requested a place in the core area, so the Lei family reduced the number of core places auctioned to the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce by 1, maintaining 3 core places for themselves. The Lei family decides how to allocate their quotas. Lin Moyu was unaware of these details. In the morning, just after Xiaoyu finished her boxing practice, Lei Sanxiang arrived with Lei Pengpeng. Lei Pengpeng's complexion was noticeably better, and her spirit was much improved. Lei Pengpeng bowed to Lin Moyu. "Thank you, Senior Lin, for helping me." Lin Moyu smiled, "No need to be so polite. Go play with Xiaowu and Xiaoyu." Although reborn, Lei Pengpeng's personality remained lively, and she quickly ran off to play. Lei Sanxiang placed a box on the table, regardless of whether Lin Moyu wanted it or not. "This is my personal thank you gift to you. It has nothing to do with the quota promised by my brother." He then took out 2 cards, one blue and one purple. The cards were made of a strange material and had the word, Lei, engraved on them, containing strong thunder attributes. Lei Sanxiang placed the blue card on the table. "This is called a Leiyan card. Let Xiaoyu activate and refine it. It can help her hide her identity as a living soul. This badge was made by my eldest brother, and ordinary Daozan cannot spy on it. The 7 Color sect is looking for Xiaoyu recently. You have to be careful. If they target you, it will be very troublesome. Even in Laikeng, Tian Kaijin will find a way to deal with you." Lin Moyu's heart tightened slightly. He took the badge and said, "Thank you for reminding me. I hadn't considered this." He thought he would be safe in Laikeng. Lei Sanxiang then placed the black card on the table. "This is the token for the core area. Let Xiaoyu refine it. In Leishan, this token can guarantee her safety." Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, how safe is Leishan?" Leishan has been opened many times, and based on past experience, it is generally safe. However, accidents do happen. Lin Moyu wanted to be sure, especially since Lei Pengpeng's mother was injured in Leishan. Lei Sanxiang said, "Leishan is naturally not 100% safe, but as long as you have the token, you generally won't get hurt. Especially the token for the core area, which is stronger than other tokens and enough to guarantee safety." In previous trips to Leishan, no one who entered the core area had any accidents. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and asked, "What about Lei Pengpeng's mother?" Lei Sanxiang's expression changed slightly. "That was an accident. After hesitating, Lei Sanxiang continued, Laishan is very large. We only open the outermost part, even the core area is on the outer periphery. Peng Peng's mother was inside. Lin Moyu understood that the real danger in Laishan lies inside, not in the open area. This reassured him. From Lei Sanxiang's words, Lin Moyu inferred that the Lei family has been exploring Laishan and does not fully control it, only the outer periphery. Laishan is a world of secrets. Controlling even a part of it has made the Lei family a significant force. If they could control it all, they might rival the Holy Lands. When Lin Moyu met Lei Zhengying, he sensed his ambition. Lei Zhengying's goal is not just to protect the Lei family but to elevate it to the next level. If the Lei family rises to the level of a Holy Land, there will be conflict with the Hanshui Holy Land, leading to war. Lin Moyu thought a lot in an instant, feeling that chaos might soon come to this land. But he quickly dismissed these thoughts, realizing it was not his concern. At the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce branch in Laikang, the annual auction finally arrived. Guests streamed in, and all the service staff were busy receiving them. It's so lively. There are more people here than in the market in Linhai City. Xiaoyu's eyes shone with excitement. Since she could remember, the most people she had seen were in the market in Linhai City. The world of Laikang was new to her. Xiaoyu smiled, next time, let's go to the Master's Rule world. There are even more people there. Xiaoyu looked like she had seen the world, as if to say, sister will take you to see more. Xiaoyu believed her and kept saying, okay, okay. Lin Moyu met Lu Yuan. As the branch president, Lu Yuan personally greeted him. For ordinary guests, it was not his job to do so. Seeing Lin Moyu, Lu Yuan immediately ran over, Mr. Lin, you are here. Lin Moyu looked at him, President Lu, you seem a little worried. Lu Yuan sighed, that's right. The Lei family originally gave us 3 core quotas for Laishan, but now it's suddenly 2. I've already announced the news, and it's hard to explain now. Chapter 2546, 2546. Chapter 2546. The auction begins. Lu Yuan's frown was almost comical. He couldn't solve the problem at hand, but he had to face it. His head was about to explode. Lin Moyu could only silently express that he couldn't help. Lin Moyu asked, what good things will be in this auction? Lu Yuan hesitated and then lowered his voice. According to the regulations, it must be kept confidential, but since Mr. Lin asked, I can reveal that there are 10 4th-level world-class origin crystals in this auction. While he was speaking, he closely observed Lin Moyu's expression. When he found that Lin Moyu was not moved at all, Lu Yuan became more certain that Lin Moyu was unusual. Ordinary people would be excited upon hearing about world-class origin crystals. Even a peerless genius would show some reaction. But Lin Moyu did not change at all. It was as if he turned a deaf ear to it. This made Lu Yuan feel that Lin Moyu had seen the world and looked down on world-class origins. How could he know that Lin Moyu had 5 5th-level world-class origin crystals in his possession? And in the future, he could also fuse stronger world-class origin crystals, so he had no interest in the 4th-level world-class origin crystals that Lu Yuan mentioned. Seeing that Lin Moyu did not respond, Lu Yuan changed the subject and asked, I wonder what kind of treasure Mr. Lin needs. Lin Moyu said, are there any high-level spiritual materials, such as spiritual origin crystals? Lu Yuan was stunned and the corners of his mouth twitched quickly several times. Mr. Lin, you must be joking. Spiritual origin crystals are too precious. Even if there were any, they would not be auctioned in a branch. Only the headquarters would be qualified to auction them. Ordinary people can't even see spiritual origin crystals, let alone obtain them. Even those big families may not have seen them. Then he asked tentatively, Mr. Lin, have you seen spiritual origin crystals? Lin Moyu smiled, I have seen them before. Mr. Lin is truly amazing, to have even seen spiritual origin crystals. Lu Yuan guessed Lin Moyu's identity and did not forget to flatter him. He led Lin Moyu into the Chamber of Commerce auction house, directly to the 2nd floor, and opened a private room. The entire auction could be seen from the private room, and there was a formation to prevent others from snooping. After Lu Yuan left, Xiaoyu asked softly, Master, did you give me the quota from the Lei family? Lin Moyu hummed, it should be. When you go to the core area, practice with all your strength and aim for good results. Xiaoyu knew that the core area quota was very precious, otherwise, Lu Yuan would not be so troubled. She clenched her fists tightly, Master, don't worry, Xiaoyu will definitely practice hard. Xiaoyu was very touched, knowing that Lin Moyu had paid a lot for her. At the auction, guests kept coming in and taking seats, and soon it was full. After waiting for a while, Lu Yuan walked to the auction table at the front. A formation was activated, covering the entire auction venue, and the entire space was suddenly shrouded by a strange force. This force was very strong and contained the breath of a Taoist master. If anyone dared to cause trouble at the auction, this formation would teach them a lesson. Some people even suspected that there was already a Taoist master in the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, hiding in the dark. Of course, this was just a precautionary measure. In fact, no one dared to offend the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. Moreover, this was Likang, and the Lei family alone was a formidable barrier. Lu Yuan stood on the stage and said loudly, "Welcome everyone to the annual auction of the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, Likang branch. Before the auction begins, I would like to apologize to everyone. Due to some special reasons, the number of core quotas for Lation has been reduced from 3 to 2. No more nonsense, the auction will officially begin. Please welcome our auctioneer." Because Lu Yuan had already explained the reduction in core quotas to most people before the auction started, this restatement did not cause much commotion. No matter what, this matter was over and would not really affect the auction. A beautiful and dignified woman walked to the auction table and introduced herself loudly. "My name is Lu Jun, and I am the auctioneer for this auction. Before the auction officially begins, I will first introduce the rules of this auction. In the first half of the auction, the prices of all items are based on ordinary third-level origin crystals. In the second half of the auction, the prices of all items are based on fine third-level origin crystals. When paying, higher-level origin crystals can be used for redemption, with a ratio of 1 to 10. The first item of this auction is a magic weapon of the Supreme Realm. This magic weapon is called the Broken Water Sword. It has many formations engraved on it and was made by a 4th-level weapon refining master. It is superior in the Supreme Realm. The most important thing is that this broken water sword can be inlaid with origin crystals, which can greatly reduce the power consumption of the user. If you don't care about the cost and activate all the formations, the broken water sword can strike a blow almost as powerful as that of a heavenly venerable, but it can only strike once. The starting price is 100 origin crystals, and each bid must be no less than 10 origin crystals. Now, please bid. After some introductions, the auction officially began. It had been explained in advance that 100 origin crystals referred to ordinary third-level origin crystals. Everyone in the field began to bid. The first item was not of high value and was also a hot item, so the competition was not too fierce. Soon, a heavenly venerable bid 200 origin crystals and won the magic weapon. Then the second magic weapon was brought up, and a new round of bidding began. Lu Jun spoke freely. Although she was only a supreme being and there were many heavenly venerables in the audience, she was not nervous at all. In the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, the surname Lu means you are a member of the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. Like Lu Yuan, although he is only a collateral branch member, he is still part of the Lu family. Under normal circumstances, no one wants to offend him. The same is true for Lu Jun on the stage. She is also a member of the Lu family. Even if it is a heavenly venerable, they have to give her some face. The auction is divided into 2 parts, the first half and the second half. The first half is for ordinary items, and the second half is for the essence. Even ordinary items that can enter the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce auction are all fine products. Lin Moyu said, "See if you like anything, you can go and bid for it yourself." Xiaowu looked at the auction house, seemingly curious about every item, but she never bid. She was just curious. Ordinary magic weapons and the like could not arouse Xiaowu's interest. Instead, she was interested in some novel things. Xiaoyu followed Xiaowu to join in the fun and did not bid at all. Items were auctioned one by one. In the first half of the auction, Lin Moyu was also not interested. With his current vision, the things he liked were all fine products, which could only appear in the second half. Lin Moyu drank tea slowly and did not bid once until the end of the first half. Not only him, but almost no one in the private rooms on the second floor bid. The people who could be in the private rooms had extraordinary identities. They basically came from major family forces and didn't care for ordinary things. After a short break, Lu Jun announced the start of the second half. The second half of the auction is also the highlight of the entire event. As an auctioneer, Lu Jun was obviously more enthusiastic. The items auctioned in the second half are all fine products among fine products. Once again, all the items in the second half will be settled with fine quality origin crystals, please pay attention. The first item of the second half will be auctioned now. Lu Jun unveiled the first item of the second half. Like the first item of the first half, the first item of the second half was also a magic weapon. When Lin Moyu saw this magic weapon, he immediately became interested. Chapter 2547, 2547. Chapter 2547, Mysterious Light Boxing Gloves, Ordinary Quota. The first item in the second half of the auction was a magic weapon of the Heavenly Venerable realm, though it was of the lowest grade within that realm. In the first half, a magic weapon of the Heavenly Venerable realm had appeared, but in terms of quality, it couldn't be considered among the finest. The key feature of this new item was its usability. It didn't require the user to be in the super god realm. Even those below that level could use it. Lu Jun, the auctioneer, was visibly more excited than in the first half and introduced this magic weapon with enthusiasm. This magic weapon is called the Shuangguang Fist Gloves, crafted by a 4th level weapon refining master. It can be powered by origin crystals, with up to 5 crystals inlaid on the gloves. When fully activated, it can unleash an attack comparable to the strongest strike of the Venerable realm. I believe many of you have younger generations in your clans. These boxing gloves can provide great security for them, acting almost like a personal protector. The starting price for the gloves is 100 origin crystals, with each bid increment being no less than 10 origin crystals. Lu Jun's words were full of temptation, appealing to the audience's desire to protect their descendants. Many present had younger family members, and the gloves could indeed offer significant protection. Lin Moyu had seen similar magic weapons before, notably on Jiyu Nianshui, though Jiyu Nianshui's magic weapon was stronger. The gloves in front of him were also impressive. If given to Xiaoyu, her safety would be greatly enhanced. Lin Moyu was tempted, and so were others in the audience. However, the high price made many hesitate, calculating whether it was worth the investment. As soon as the second half began, the origin crystals were settled at the boutique level. The starting price of 100 boutique level 3rd order origin crystals exceeded 1000 ordinary level 3rd order origin crystals, surpassing the value of most items from the first half. This price was only the starting point, and it was expected to rise significantly. 100 boutique level 3rd order origin crystals were a substantial amount for ordinary Tianzun, and many small families couldn't afford such a sum. Bidding started immediately, and the price quickly rose to 200 origin crystals, doubling in no time. The bidding then slowed, with fewer and fewer participants. Lin Moyu asked Xiaoyu, "Do you like it, Xiaoyu?" Xiaoyu looked at the delicate boxing gloves, admiring the beautiful array patterns on them. Her eyes revealed her interest, but she shook her head upon hearing the price. Xiaoyu doesn't need it. Being sensible, Xiaoyu didn't want Lin Moyu to spend so much on her. Lin Moyu smiled and communicated with the formation, 300. His voice was altered by the formation, making it unrecognizable. At that moment, the bid had just reached 220 origin crystals, but Lin Moyu's sudden bid of 300 increased the price by 80 at once. Lu Jun immediately announced, "The senior in room 11 has bid 300 origin crystals. Is there anyone who can continue to bid?" 300 fine-grade 3rd order origin crystals was already a high price, enough to buy some excellent Tianzun realm magic weapons. Most bids ceased after Lin Moyu's offer. After confirming the bid twice, a voice called out, 320. Lu Jun had thought the gloves would be sold at 300, but someone unexpectedly raised the price. After a brief surprise, she announced, "The senior in room 5 has bid 320. Is there anyone else?" 350. Lin Moyu bid again without hesitation. Lu Jun quickly updated, "The senior in room 11 has bid 350. The auction house fell silent again. Some murmurs could be heard. 350 fine-grade origin crystals for these gloves. It's not worth it. Even for the younger generation, it shouldn't cost this much. True, this magic weapon is actually quite cheap. Xiaoyu said cautiously, "Master, there's no need to spend so much money." Lin Moyu smiled, "No problem." Lu Jun waited a few seconds before asking, "Is there anyone who wants to continue bidding?" Room 5 responded again, 360. Lin Moyu immediately countered, 400. The auction hall went completely quiet. 400 fine-grade 3rd level origin crystals were enough to buy 2 excellent Tianzun realm magic weapons. It seemed excessive for these gloves. After a few seconds, room 5 bid again, 410. But the hesitation in the bidder's voice was evident. Lin Moyu decisively bid, 500. The entire audience was silent. Someone whispered, is he crazy? These gloves are worth no more than 200. What a rich man. Which big family is he from? Even if you have money, you can't spend it like this. In private room number 5, a young man looked gloomy. Why don't you let me bid more? An older man in the room, almost middle-aged and more composed, replied, these gloves aren't worth it. The young man was angry, but they're useful to me. There are many useful things, but not all are worth the price. Our goal is to get a place in the core area. Everything else is secondary. After the middle-aged man stopped him, the young man remained silent and stopped bidding. After Lu Jun asked several times, she finally announced, congratulations to the senior in private room No. 11 for winning the Shuangguang fist gloves. The gloves were taken away and would soon be delivered to Lin Moyu. Payment and delivery were the tradition of the auction. After Lu Jun finished the first auction, she started the second. The next item is 10 ordinary places to enter Lation. I think all the seniors know the value of a Lation quota, so I won't go into detail. There are 10 ordinary quotas, starting at 200 origin crystals, with each increment no less than 20. The auction starts now. There are 300 ordinary quotas in total, auctioned in groups of 10. How they are handled after being auctioned off is up to the buyers, and neither the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce nor the Lei family interferes. Often, these quotas are resold at a high price for profit. Many attendees came specifically for the Lation quota. Once it was announced, the price quickly rose. Lin Moyu was not interested in this, watching others bid quietly. The trip to Lation is only useful for practitioners below the Tianzun realm. Lin Moyu and Xiaowu had no use for it, and Xiaoyu already had a core area quota, making ordinary quotas irrelevant. Dong dong dong. The door of the private room was knocked, and Xiaowu quickly opened it to find Lu Yuan standing there with the boxing gloves. Lin Moyu smiled, I am flattered that the president personally delivered them. Lu Yuan laughed, Mr. Lin's bids deserve personal delivery. This hinted at Lin Moyu's distinguished identity. Lin Moyu understood but didn't delve into it. He took out 5 fine-grade 5th-order origin crystals he had prepared. Is this acceptable? Lu Yuan was overjoyed and nodded. Of course, Mr. Lin is very generous. After paying, Lu Yuan exchanged a few more polite words before leaving. Lin Moyu handed the boxing gloves to Xiaoyu, refine them. Xiaoyu's voice was filled with excitement. Thank you, master. Lin Moyu laughed and watched the auction. The 10 ordinary places were eventually sold for 310 origin crystals. If calculated at this price, the Lei family could earn nearly 10,000 fine-grade first-order origin crystals just from the ordinary places. It's really fast to make money. Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh. With a big family and a big business, making money is indeed fast. Chapter 2548, 2548. Chapter 2548. The remains of the origin spiritual vein Lation quotas were grouped into lots of 10 and auctioned off like other commodities. The price for each group of Lation quotas was fairly consistent, generally ranging between 300 and 350 origin crystals. Lin Moyu noticed that most of the quotas were auctioned off to bidders in the private rooms on the second floor. These bidders were backed by family clans, and the quotas were very valuable to them. As various items were brought to the auction table and sold, Lin Moyu refrained from bidding. Although the items were of good quality, they did not interest him. When all 300 Lation quotas had been auctioned off, the event was nearing its end. Xiaowu asked curiously, Master, there are so many good things. Don't you like any of them? Lin Moyu shook his head gently, it's not that I don't like them, it's that they are useless to me. There are many good things in this world, but not all of them can be used by me. Xiaowu thought for a moment, yes, with the master's abilities, these treasures are not very useful. Lin Moyu smiled, you understand again. Xiaowu snorted, of course, I'm not very smart. Lu Jun's voice came from outside, the auction has 5 items left, and these are the finale of this auction. First, we will auction one spot in the core area of Lation. The starting price is 200 origin crystals, and each bid must not be less than 20 origin crystals. Start bidding now. 200, 230, 300. Finally, it was time for the core area quota of Lation to be auctioned. The bidding was fierce from the start, and the price quickly rose. In the blink of an eye, it exceeded 500 origin crystals. 500 boutique-grade third-level origin crystals was a very high price. If converted to ordinary first-level origin crystals, it would be 500,000, an astronomical figure for ordinary practitioners. Xiaoyu was shocked, so the quota for the core area is this expensive. Xiaowu was also surprised, isn't it just a quota? Why is it so expensive? Lin Moyu smiled, there are special reasons. The cultivation speed in the core area of Latian is 100 times faster than the outside world, and there are also some extra benefits. All forces want to send their core disciples there to cultivate. The speed of cultivation is secondary, the real draw is the extra benefits. Xiaowu's eyes lit up, what benefits? Lin Moyu smiled, you'll know when Xiaoyu comes back. I'll tell you then. Xiaowu snorted, Master, why do you always say half of what you mean? Lin Moyu explained, it's not half, it's that everyone gets different benefits. Some things should be obtained naturally, not forced. Xiaoyu doesn't need to be deliberate when she goes. Just practice. Our purpose is different from others, we don't pursue those benefits. Xiaoyu nodded, Xiaoyu understands. Xiaoyu will work hard to practice. There is an origin spiritual vein in Latian Mountain, and the power of the origin is incredibly strong, far exceeding the outside world. Practicing in the core area is not only fast but also very solid. As for those extra benefits, Lin Moyu did not force it. If they come, they come. If not, it doesn't matter. Congratulations to the senior in room 5 for winning the core quota of Latian Mountain this time. After rounds of bidding, the core area quota was finally auctioned off at a high price of 1,200 origin crystals. The winner was the same person in room 5 who had bid against Lin Moyu earlier. This price was indeed very high. Some families couldn't afford so many origin crystals even with all their property. Lu Jun was very satisfied with the price, which was evident from her expression. Since the second half of the auction began, she had been noticeably more excited. She began to introduce the next item. The next item is quite special, the remains of a second-level origin spiritual vein. I think all the seniors know the function of the remains of an origin spiritual vein, but I will still introduce it here. The remains of an origin spiritual vein have a wide range of functions. They can be used in refining tools, refining pills, and feeding intact origin spiritual veins. Lu Jun introduced the role of the spiritual vein remains. Lin Moyu also obtained specific information about the origin spiritual vein remains from the personnel department. Sometimes, an origin spiritual vein will be exhausted due to various reasons, eventually disappearing and leaving only the remains. These remains still retain some of the power of the origin spiritual vein and can be used as origin crystals to refine tools and pills. They can also be fed to intact origin spiritual veins to strengthen them. However, there are risks involved, and one must pay attention to the properties. If not done well, it could damage the existing origin spiritual vein. The value of the remains of an origin spiritual vein is not small, but it is not exceedingly high, especially for a second-level vein. After Lu Jun finished the introduction, she announced the starting price, second-level origin spiritual vein remains, starting price 200 origin crystals, each increase must not be less than 20. The auction started, but the venue was silent, and no one bid. Lu Jun and others were a little embarrassed. Low voices came from the audience, the remains of an origin spiritual vein, but only second level. If it were third level, it would be valuable. If it were fourth level, many people and forces would bid, but second level is too low. What's the use of a second level origin spiritual vein? Small families can't afford it, and big families don't like it. It won't fail to sell, will it? That would be bad. Lufeng Chamber of Commerce rarely fails to sell, and any failure to sell is a stain. Lu Jun felt helpless. There was no lottery item originally. 3 of the last 5 finale items were core quotas of Latian. But the core quota of the Lei family suddenly decreased by 1, and they didn't have enough time, so they could only bite the bullet and take out the remains of the origin spiritual vein for auction. The value of the remains of the origin spiritual vein can be high or low, depending on whether anyone needs it. Lin Moyu looked at the origin of the spiritual vein and suddenly said to Xiaowu, Xiaowu, take a look at the luck of this spiritual vein remains. Xiaowu hummed, and the breath of the heavenly Venerable burst out. The invisible avenue of luck suddenly surrounded her. The powerful breath of the heavenly Venerable diffused in the auction hall, attracting the attention of many people. What are you doing? Are you going to take action? No, this breath comes from the second floor. Someone may be performing a secret method. Why perform a secret method? This breath is a bit strange. It seems to be there and not there. It has form but no substance. This is the power of the void. It is a genius who has achieved the heavenly Venerable through the void tribulation. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked. Achieving the heavenly Venerable through the power of the void is completely different from the meaning of an ordinary heavenly Venerable. That is a true genius. As long as they can survive, it is almost certain they will achieve the Tao Venerable in the future. Lu Yuan looked at private room number 5 and knew that Lin Moyu was inside. It turns out that Mr. Lin achieved Dao Zun by relying on the power of the void. No wonder Miss Feng Yao gave him senior membership. Miss Feng Yao's vision is really strong. Xiao Wu's eyes were filled with mist as she stared at the remains of the origin spiritual vein for a few seconds before calming down. The luck of this origin spiritual vein is very strong. Chapter 2549, 2549. Chapter 2549, Let's have some fun. Xiao Wu used the avenue of luck to see that the luck of this spiritual vein wreckage was very strong. Normally, even if a spiritual vein that has withered and died has luck, it is not that strong. Originally, Lin Moyu did not care, but just now he accidentally felt that there was a trace of life in this spiritual vein. Then he used the eye of the dead and saw a soul flame that was so weak that it could barely be detected. A living being was actually born in the wreckage of the spiritual vein. Lin Moyu immediately thought of a possibility: the spiritual vein could be breeding living beings. Withering is just an appearance. In fact, this spiritual vein has a trace of spirituality and may breed living beings. When it is completely bred and evolved, it can become an origin spiritual vein with spiritual intelligence. With the spiritual intelligence of the origin spiritual vein, the future growth space is unlimited. In the history of the origin continent, there have been origin spiritual veins with spiritual intelligence. But few people know the specific information. After asking more than 20 heavenly lords, the human emperor only knew that such a thing existed. Just when Lu Jun was extremely embarrassed and felt that this item was really going to fail to sell and his auction career was about to be tarnished, Lin Moyu's voice, like heavenly sounds, rang out. 200. A short offer, although only the reserve price, was enough to make Lu Jun excited. Lu Jun was afraid that Lin Moyu would go back on his word, so he immediately responded, "The senior in room 11 bid 200. Is there anyone who wants to bid more?" There was complete silence in the venue, and no one bid more. Only a fool would raise the price. What's the point of this person taking the spirit vein debris? Is he going to feed his own origin spirit vein? The second level spirit vein is too weak and can't feed anything. Maybe he bought it for fun because he has a lot of money. After all, it is a rare item and can be collected. A group of people whispered to themselves with a little sarcasm. Most people thought that Lin Moyu had too much money to burn. He spent 200 fine third-level origins to buy a useless collection. After waiting for a while, just when Lu Jun was about to announce the result, a deep voice sounded, 220. Lu Jun almost blurted out that Lin Moyu won the auction item. Fortunately, she stopped in time and shouted, "The senior in the know. 5 private room bid 220. Is there anyone who wants to bid more?" Lin Moyu was also surprised that there was someone competing with him. He looked in the direction of the number 5 private room. He couldn't see what was going on in the private room because of the formation. But he could feel that the other party seemed to be looking at him. Lin Moyu raised the price again tentatively, 240. After waiting for a few seconds, the person in the know. 5 private room also raised the price again, pushing the price to 260. Lin Moyu already knew what the other party was thinking and drank tea slowly, shaking his head gently. "I'm willing to go for it." Xiao Wu also said, "Master, he did it on purpose." Lin Moyu naturally understood that the other party did it on purpose, precisely because of the Shuangguang boxing gloves. For the Shuangguang boxing gloves, he raised the price strongly, directly crushing the other party. The other party was still thinking about bidding for the quota of the core area of Latian at that time, so he did not fight for it himself. Now that the quota is in hand, he will naturally not let me go. In that case, give him a surprise, see if you follow. Lin Moyu smiled and quoted a price, 500. When Lu Jun heard this voice, she couldn't believe her ears. He raised the price from 260 to 500, doubling it on the spot. She even thought she had heard it wrong and instinctively asked, "Senior, can you say it again?" Not only her, but many people in the venue wanted to know if Lin Moyu had made a slip of the tongue. Lin Moyu said, "You heard it right, the same price as the Shuangguang boxing gloves, 500. Lin Moyu deliberately mentioned the Shuangguang boxing gloves to make the other party feel uncomfortable. At the same time, he was also telling the other party, "Do you want to follow? Can you swallow this?" In private room number 5, the young man who was originally gloomy was even more gloomy at this time. That guy knew. The middle-aged man snorted coldly, "Do you think others are fools? You did it so obviously, of course the other party knows it. But I advise you not to follow it again. As long as you quote the price again, the other party will definitely not raise the price again. Then I have to congratulate you, you have obtained a very rare collection. At the same time, you have to think about how to explain to your father when you go back." The young man snorted coldly, "You don't need to teach me, I know what to do." The middle-aged man said, "I didn't teach you, I just told you a truth. If you like to be willful, that's your business." The young man rolled his eyes and sneered, "I won't follow you. 500 origin crystals, this piece of garbage belongs to you." A moment later, Lu Jun announced that the remains of the second-level origin spirit vein belonged to Lin Moyu. The item that was originally thought to be unsold ended up being sold at a high price of 500 origin crystals, which made Lu Jun very happy. She started the next auction without stopping. The next one to be auctioned is a high-level material of the Tianzun realm. This material comes from Leishan, called Thunderstone, contains the power of Thunder Avenue, and can be used to refine equipment. The starting price is 300, and each increase in price must not be less than 30. Another auction started. Thunderstone is a very high-level material in the Tianzun realm. It can not only be used to refine Tianzun realm magic weapons, but also in some Daozun realm magic weapons. It is very valuable, and many people come here for it. The bidding was very fierce from the beginning, and the price went up all the way. There was a knock on the door, and Lu Yuan came with the spirit vein debris to deliver the goods. Lin Moyu was very straightforward, took out 5 fifth-level boutique origin crystals, and took the spirit vein debris in his hand. Lu Yuan said, "This thing is actually not worth so much." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "It doesn't matter, President Lu. I would like to ask what is going on in private room No. 5. Lu Yuan also saw that the person in private room No. 5 just now was intentional, and he also knew the other party's identity, but he couldn't say it. With a little apology, "I'm sorry, Mr. Lin, the Chamber of Commerce has rules, I can't say it." Lin Moyu nodded, "I understand, thank you, President." Lu Yuan turned around and said goodbye, and before leaving, he suddenly said, "The last auction item is a world-class origin crystal. Mr. Lin may try it." Lin Moyu understood what Lu Yuan meant in a second, "I will participate." After he left, Xiaowu asked curiously, "What does he mean?" Lin Moyu said, "He is telling me that the last auction item, the people in room 5, will also participate." Lin Moyu bid for the remains of the origin spirit vein at a high price of 500 origin crystals. In fact, it not only helped Lu Jun, but also helped Lu Yuan. The failure to sell has an impact on both of them. Lu Yuan didn't say it, but it doesn't mean that he is not grateful in his heart. Although the Chamber of Commerce rules prevented him from telling Lin Moyu the other party's identity, it is not impossible to remind him from the side. Now Lin Moyu knows that the other party will participate in the auction of the world-class origin crystal. Then you can't just sit there doing nothing. If you want to play, then let the children play for a while. Chapter 2550, 2550. Chapter 2550. Some things require a price. Congratulations to the senior in room 2 for winning the Thunder Stone. Lu Jun announced excitedly that the Thunder Stone was bought by the person in room 2 at a high price of 1,500 origin crystals. Next came the second spot in the core area of Leishan, which was also the last spot available. If you missed it this time, you would have to wait 100 years for Leishan to open again. The opening time of Leishan is not fixed, but it generally opens once every 100 years. Because it was the last spot, the competition was extremely fierce, with everyone bidding aggressively. This time, the spot was bought by the person in room 3 at a high price of 1,260 origin crystals, which was 60 more than the previous spot. Competition for more than 1,000 origin crystals like this basically had nothing to do with those sitting on the first floor. Finally, it was time for the last item to be auctioned. Lu Jun was a little excited at this moment. The next item to be auctioned is the finale of this auction, a world-class 4th level origin crystal. The world-class origin crystal was revealed in front of everyone. The Lufeng Chamber of Commerce was not afraid that others would snatch it, so it was displayed openly. The aura of the world-class origin crystal spread throughout the auction hall, and everyone stared with wide eyes, admiring it carefully. The world-class origin crystal exuded a beautiful and dazzling light. Lin Moyu glanced at it casually and didn't care. This level of origin crystal was not worth his extra attention. Among the people present, most had never seen a world-class origin crystal, and they all exclaimed in admiration. This is a world-class origin crystal, it's really a beautiful thing. Although it's only level 4, its value is inestimable, at least worth 100 level 4 origin crystals. What a joke, that's just the basic price. World-class ones are in short supply. If you meet someone who needs it, even if the ratio is 300 or 400, they will rush to buy it. That's right, it's a pity that it's only level 4. If it were higher, the value would be inestimable. The value of a world-class origin crystal lies not in its rank but in its function. It can help people break through and strengthen their origin spirit veins, and its effect is much stronger than the origin spirit vein debris auctioned earlier. A world-class 4th order origin crystal can allow a supreme being to easily break through to the heavenly venerable realm, with almost no conditions for the breakthrough. It can also greatly strengthen a 4th order origin spirit vein. Its functions are numerous, and its quantity is rare, making the price extremely high. After Lu Jun introduced its functions, she listened to the discussions of the people below the stage and slowly reported its starting price. World-class 4th order origin crystal, starting price 1000 origin crystals, each bid increase must be no less than 100. Now, please make your bids, seniors. The reserve price was set very low. It was converted into a boutique-grade 4th order origin crystal at a value of 100 to 1 world-class origin crystal and then converted into a 3rd order origin crystal at a market price of 1 to 10. Everyone knew that this was just the reserve price, and it would definitely be overpriced in the end. It was hard to say how much the premium would be in the end. You could imagine that this was a battle between dragons and tigers. The moment the words fell, someone immediately made a bid. 1,500. The bidder came from room 5, and his tone was also a little excited. Lin Moyu smiled, "You are so impatient. Don't worry, take your time." Less than a second after he made his bid, someone immediately followed up and raised the bid to 1,600. After that, people kept raising the price, and the auction price of this origin crystal soared all the way, quickly breaking through 2,000 and reaching a height of 2,500. Until this moment, the bidding speed slowed down. No matter which medium-sized sect family, 2,500 fine-grade 3rd-level origin crystals are not a small number. For ordinary people, it is a huge fortune. Only large families like the Lei family would not take this wealth seriously. However, large families like the Lei family do not look down on the world-class 4th-order origin crystal. If they want their clansmen to break through, there will be better ways. If the Lei family also participates in the competition, then others don't have to compete. The bidding continued. When the bidding price broke through 3,500, the remaining bidders were only from 3 rooms, Room 2, Room 5, and Room 7. Among them, Room 2 and Room 5 had bid for the quota of the core area of Lation respectively, showing their financial strength. Although Room 7 had also made several moves, it was in the first half and had not shown its real financial history. Until now, they had made efforts and aimed directly at the world-class origin crystal. Xiaowu narrowed her eyes. "Master, are we going to do it?" Lin Moyu smiled. "No hurry, take your time." Lin Moyu slowly drew a rune. Since the auction began, he had been studying the formation in the auction house. Now, he finally had some clues. A complex ancient rune was drawn and flew out from his palm. The ancient rune was silently integrated into the formation of the auction house. The formation of the entire auction house as a whole, and it as a formation. This gave Lin Moyu an opportunity. Relying on his understanding of runes, Lin Moyu drew an ancient rune. According to the standards of the origin continent, this ancient rune is of a very high level, reaching the 4th level. If according to the standards of the big world, the rune drawn by Lin Moyu is at least at the 6th level, almost the level of the former Saint Rune Heavenly Venerable. The rune drawn by Lin Moyu has no other function, just opening a back door for himself, so that he can move freely in the formation. Seeing that the rune was successfully integrated into the formation, Lin Moyu summoned the brocade net monster. Jinyi Nightwalk was activated, and Jinyi Witch flew silently towards room 5. The ancient symbol before opened a passage for Jinyi Witch. Jinyi Witch entered room 5 smoothly, and Lin Moyu saw the situation in the room through the sight of Jinyi Witch. A young man and a middle-aged man. The young man has the strength of the God realm, and the middle-aged man has the strength of the Supreme realm. The two look a bit similar, but they don't look like father and son, but like brothers. Lin Moyu saw a familiar mark on their clothes. Licheng, Yin family. The Yin family of Licheng is also a big family in Licheng, belonging to the 5-star power. Compared with the 6-star power of the Lei family, it is inferior. There are also Dao Zun in the Yin family, and there is more than one. They also have their own huge industry in Licheng. Some people say that the Yin family has a relationship with the Jiyu family of Hanshui Holy Land, so the Lei family can only accept the existence of the Yin family. Some people also say that the Yin family is a chess piece placed in Licheng by the Hanshui Holy Land, specifically used to check and balance the Lei family. There are various opinions, but it is undeniable that the Yin family is indeed very strong. Lin Moyu saw that the elders of the Yin family did not come this time, but only 2 juniors came. Obviously, the Yin family wanted the 2 juniors to come and gain experience. The middle-aged man was drinking tea on the side, calm and motionless, while the young man stood by the window and kept quoting. Lin Moyu took a look and had a solution. Some things require people to pay the price. Chapter 2551, 2551. Chapter 2551. That client is too big. The Yin family is strong and well prepared. When the bid reached 4,000 origin crystals, Room 7 withdrew from the competition, leaving only the people in Room 2 and the Yin family in Room 5. In Room 5, the young man sneered, "The guys in Room 11 are scared and dare not compete with us at all. I told you, brother, you worry too much. We are well prepared this time. No one can be our opponent." The middle-aged man said with some disdain, "We are well prepared, but others are too. The people in Room 2 are also financially strong." The young man snorted, "Brother, you always think too highly of others and look down on yourself. Who are we? We are the Yin family. In Licheng, even the Lei family dares not do anything to us." Before he finished speaking, the middle-aged man suddenly shouted, "Little brother, shut up." The aura of the Supreme was like a heavy punch, hitting the young man. The young man groaned and could no longer speak. The middle-aged man's voice was cold. "At home, you can say whatever you want, but outside, you can't say anything you want." The young man looked at the middle-aged man angrily, full of dissatisfaction, but he didn't dare to refute. Finally, the young man angrily quoted a price. At this time, the price had been pushed to 4,400 origin crystals, and the bidding speed was getting slower and slower. Only the people in the second private room were still competing with them. The middle-aged man said, "We don't have many origin crystals. If the price exceeds 5,500, we can only choose to give up." The young man snorted, "I won't give up. We have reached the limit, and they probably won't be much better off. In Licheng, except for the Lei family, who dares to compete with our Yin family in financial strength?" The middle-aged man didn't speak, but his expression was very dissatisfied. However, the look in his eyes when he looked at his younger brother had both a sense of regret and a bit of pampering. From his expression, it was clear that the relationship between the two was good. Lin Moyu, an outsider, didn't think so. He looked at the young man of the Yin family as if he were an idiot. The Yin family is also a 5-star force with several Dao masters. It is an absolute big family. How could they cultivate such an idiot? But the more idiotic, the better. Compared to the idiot brother of the Yin family, his elder brother was much calmer. In Lin Moyu's opinion, he was a man of firm will. Fortunately, he was just the Supreme. There was no problem dealing with the Supreme. The bidding finally exceeded 5,000 origin crystals and reached 5,400, which was also the limit of the Yin family. The number 2 private room seemed to have lost its momentum and did not continue bidding. The young man of the Yin family laughed. "I said, they are also at their limit. If you want to compete with our Yin family, you are far behind." Suddenly, he shouted through the formation, "The idiot in the know. 11 private room, bid if you dare." He was a little crazy, and his eyes were a little red. This kind of direct provocation rarely appears in auctions. The middle-aged man's eyes were full of helplessness, and he secretly spat out 2 words, idiot. The young man laughed crazily and arrogantly. Everyone in the auction was watching this good show. The young man of the Yin family continued to shout crazily, follow if you have the guts. As long as you follow, I won't compete with you. If you don't follow, you're a waste. In his provocation, Lin Moyu's voice came from the private room, 5,500. The young man of the Yin family laughed, you followed, you actually followed, are you an idiot, you actually followed such a high price. Didn't you hear what I said? As long as you follow, I won't argue with you. Lin Moyu said to himself, no, you will be quiet. The star charm lich silently passed through the formation and came to the No. 5 private room. The invisible and dreamy light lit up, and the young man of the Yin family's eyes changed slightly. He shouted again frantically, I will offer 10,000 fine grade 3rd level origin crystals. Boom. The entire auction venue was completely boiling. Lu Jun trembled violently, with an expression of disbelief, are you sure you want to bid 10,000? The young man from the Yin family shouted, sure, don't talk nonsense, hurry up and make up your mind. Guy from room 11, do you have the guts to follow me again? Lin Moyu's voice sounded, no more, the world-class origin crystal belongs to you. Lu Jun's voice also sounded, congratulations to the senior from room 5 for winning the world-class origin crystal. Ha ha ha, the young man from the Yin family laughed wildly, and the laughter echoed throughout the auction hall. From beginning to end, the middle-aged man sitting in room 5 did not say a word. He seemed to have seen nothing, heard nothing, and drank tea by himself. Lin Moyu showed a sneer, the star charm lich returned silently, the brocade lich disappeared, and the ancient symbols in the formation also completely dissipated at this moment, as if they had never appeared. At the same time, Lin Moyu erased the marks of the 2 liches in the long river of time. No matter who comes, they won't be able to find out the result of this matter. Even if the Yin family wants to investigate afterward, it depends on whether the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce agrees or not. The laughter of the young man of the Yin family had not stopped, and he was still laughing wildly there. And his eldest brother didn't know what happened. The illusion of the star charm lich is very powerful, and they don't know that they are affected by the illusion. How can a god and a supreme find the star charm lich? Xiao Wu laughed, Master, your trick is too bad. Lin Moyu shook his head and said, actually, it's okay, it just makes the Yin family bleed, it's nothing. With the financial resources of the Yin family, 10,000 fine 3rd level origins can still be taken out, at most it will be a little painful. Xiao Wu asked, what if they can't take it out? Lin Moyu said, the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce has a way to make them take it out. The Lufeng Chamber of Commerce is a 6-star force, and its strength is even stronger than the Lei family, which is also a 6-star. Even the Hanshui Holy Land has to give some face to the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce sometimes. The Yin family is only a 5-star force, how dare they go against the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce? They have to pay this money even if they don't want to. There was a knock on the door, and Lu Yuan came again. Lin Moyu smiled and said, why can't President Lu entertain that big customer? Lu Yuan smiled and said, that customer is too big, and the elders from the headquarters have already gone. Sure enough, the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce did have a Dao Zun realm elder coming to the auction site. Perhaps they were worried about accidents, so the Dao Zun realm elders were responsible for the Yin family's transaction. The Lufeng Chamber of Commerce acted flawlessly, and the Yin family had no way to regret it. Lin Moyu smiled and said, congratulations to President Lu, the finale item was sold at a high price of 10,000. Lu Yuan said, I don't know why he was crazy and finally quoted such a price, but it's good this way, we can make more profit. He was frank, being able to sell at such a high price is indeed an achievement for him, which will be more or less helpful. Lin Moyu smiled, aren't you afraid that the Yin family will regret it? Lu Yuan said, they dare not. In private room number 5, the crazy laughter of the young man of the Yin family stopped, and he looked strange, why are they all looking at me? There is obviously a formation here, they should not be able to see me. He was a little panicked, knowing that the formation was there and others could not see him. But being looked at by dozens or hundreds of Tianzun through the formation, he also felt a little numb. The middle-aged man of the Yin family also realized that something was wrong, as if something bad had happened. There was a knock on the door, and a strong breath of Daozun rushed in from outside the door. Chapter 2552, 2552. Chapter 2552. Once you've had good food, you can't go back. Lin Moyu felt the aura of a Dao Zun realm master as soon as he left the auction. He knew that the Yin family would have to pay the money. The Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, a 6-star force second only to the Holy Land, dominates among the major chambers of commerce. Its methods are absolutely ruthless. Anyone who regards the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce as merely a group of pure businessmen will suffer a great loss. Lu Yuan escorted Lin Moyu out and watched until he could no longer see him. When he returned to the Chamber of Commerce, he saw the two Yin family members leaving, looking as if they were mourning their parents. A Dao Zun was looking at them solemnly. Lu Fengqing, dressed in a plain robe with a neatly trimmed long beard, looked like an immortal, exuding an aura of authority. Lu Yuan approached the Dao Zun master. Elder Fengqing, what did they say? Lu Fengqing replied, they don't have the money for now, but I asked them to take a message back to the Yin family to send the origin crystals tomorrow. Lu Yuan asked, will the Yin family comply? Lu Fengqing snorted coldly, they'd better take the initiative to send it. If they wait for me to come, it won't be settled with just a small amount of origin crystals. Lu Yuan knew the strength of Elder Fengqing. It would be difficult for the Yin family to evade their debt from him. Lu Yuan's eyes turned, do you think there is anything strange about this matter? Lu Fengqing laughed, does it matter? Even if there is something strange, what can they say? The whole process is recorded as evidence, so there is no need to worry about them evading the debt. But what you said is interesting. They should have been plotted against by someone else. I am a little interested in the plotter. He thought for a moment and suddenly turned around, walking towards room 5. Come with me to have a look. He entered room 5 and pointed his finger into the air. The formation was revealed immediately. His eyes, sharp as a sword, swept across every corner of the formation. Lu Fengqing immediately let out a light exclamation. The formation has been tampered with. Lu Yuan showed a surprised look. This formation was set up by you personally, and someone could actually tamper with your formation. Lu Fengqing looked serious. He didn't expect that someone could actually tamper with his formation. He was proficient in formations, whether set up with objects or talismans. In the Chamber of Commerce, his formation methods were second to none. The formations of each branch were basically set up by him personally. Now someone could tamper with his formation, which really surprised him. He carefully searched for the veins of the formation, gradually seeing the traces of the formation being changed, and traced the source. Lu Fengqing said affirmatively, it was the person in room 11 who changed the formation. Lu Yuan's whole body trembled violently, it was Lin Moyu. Lu Fengqing snorted, dare to tamper with my formation, you are really tired of living. He looked murderous, tell me, who is the person in room 11? I'm going to teach him a lesson. Lu Fengqing was very upset that his formation was tampered with. This was an insult to him as the master of the formation. Although the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce had rules that bitter information could not be disclosed, those rules were for outsiders. Lu Yuan did not dare to hide anything from Lu Fengqing. Lu Yuan said, his name is Lin Moyu, and he is a senior member of the Chamber of Commerce. Lu Fengqing said, so what if he is a senior member? Senior members cannot tamper with my formation. At most, I will not kill him, but I will beat him up. Lu Yuan continued, his senior membership was given by Miss Feng Yao herself. Lu Fengqing snorted, so what if Miss Feng Yao gave it to him personally? Suddenly, he screamed, say it again, who gave him the membership? Lu Yuan replied, it was Miss Feng Yao. Lu Fengqing's eyes widened, muttering to himself, it turned out that the girl gave him a senior membership. No, I can't afford to offend this girl. When she comes back, I will be in trouble. Forget it, then I won't beat him. Lu Fengqing decided to let Lin Moyu go, which also made Lu Yuan relieved. He didn't want to offend either side. He couldn't afford to offend Lu Fengqing or Lu Fengyao. Lu Fengqing's eyes turned, but this kid can actually tamper with my formation. He is quite capable, I have to try him. If possible, taking him as a disciple may be a good choice. Let me see what you did. Lu Fengqing checked again carefully. The formation has many functions, and recording what happened is one of them. Lin Moyu never thought that he could still meet the owner of the formation after he had wiped out the traces. Only the owner of the formation can see that he has moved the formation and find clues. Other than that, it is difficult for others to find out. Although Lu Fengqing found that it was Lin Moyu who did it, After some investigation, he did not find out how Lin Moyu did it. Even when he used the magic weapon to go back in time, he could not find any traces. Lu Fengqing said, "This kid is really thoughtful. He even erased the time mark, and even I can't see through his means. It's a bit interesting." Lu Yuan asked, "Elder, since it is confirmed that Mr. Lin did it, then the Yin family." Quote. Lu Fengqing said with some disdain, "The Yin family is the Yin family. The Yin family doesn't know that someone else did it. Even if they know, what can they do? Do they still want to deny it? You go down first, and I will study how this kid moved the formation." Back in the yard, Lin Moyu asked Xiaoyu to refine the Shuangguang boxing gloves, and he began to study the remains of the origin spiritual vein. He put the remains of the origin spiritual vein into the rule world and studied them carefully. Gradually, he figured out the specific situation of the remains of the origin spiritual vein. In the remains, there is indeed a living being. This living being is very weak, so small that it can be almost ignored. It seems that for some reason, the breeding failed. Although it failed, it also made the origin spiritual vein produce a trace of spirituality, but it is not a real spiritual origin spiritual vein, just a wreckage. If this thing is used to feed the spirit vein, it may not be as good as the world-class origin crystal. If it is used to refine tools and pills, it may not be as good as some high-level spiritual materials. It's really a bit useless. He sent a thought to Infinite Fusion, "Do you want this thing? There is at least a trace of spirituality in the wreckage, maybe Infinite Fusion will want it." It was with this in mind that Lin Moyu decided to take a picture of it and try. Infinite Fusion flew over, circled the spiritual vein wreckage twice, and then flew back without looking back. At the same time, it also sent a will, "Rubbish, don't want it." Lin Moyu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If you don't want it, then don't want it, why are you still calling it trash? Infinite Fusion had eaten a 6th-level spiritual origin crystal, and it was the kind of entity that would never look down on trash again after eating good things. But it has always been like this, and Lin Moyu was just trying it. Lin Moyu looked at the wreckage. If Infinite Fusion doesn't want it, then what's the use? Lin Moyu felt like he had really brought back something useless. It was useless to keep it, but it would be a pity to throw it away. At this moment, the world tree suddenly swayed, making a rustling sound. A thought came. "Give it to me, stay with me." Chapter 2553, 2553. Chapter 2553. I can't afford to support you if this continues. Lin Moyu's current rule world is bustling. Infinite Fusion and the World Tree both have basic wills and can communicate in simple ways. The Array Spirit, Xiao Jin, also has intelligence, but Xiao Jin has nothing to do for the time being and sleeps all day long. The Golden Armor Ancient Talisman has temporarily lost its function, as its effect cannot keep up with the combat power improvement of the Undead Legion. After entering the Origin Continent, Lin Moyu did not have time to transform and upgrade the Golden Armor Ancient Talisman. Xiao Jin just temporarily fell asleep and waited for the future. However, Lin Moyu did not give up on the Golden Armor Ancient Talisman. When he establishes a firm foothold, he will definitely upgrade it. The World Tree suddenly sent its will, and Lin Moyu asked softly, "Do you want this debris?" The World Tree sent its will again, "I want it, I want it." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Okay, then it's yours." Lin Moyu threw the spiritual vein debris to the World Tree, and a branch flew over and wrapped around the debris. Then a spiritual flower automatically fell off and enveloped the spiritual vein debris. The spiritual flower bloomed naturally, wrapping the debris completely. A strange aura emanated from the spiritual flower, and the spiritual vein that had been dead began to recover. Lin Moyu was stunned. What? Spiritual flowers can even heal the injuries of spiritual veins. Lin Moyu suddenly realized that he had underestimated the role of spiritual flowers. The healing effect of spiritual flowers is not limited to living beings, they can heal everything. Although the spiritual vein debris was dead, the living being it nurtured still retained a glimmer of life. Strictly speaking, it had not truly died. So the spiritual flower could play a role and revive it. The effect of the spiritual flower was too magical, and even Lin Moyu felt incredulous. He had never heard that the remains of an origin spiritual vein could be resurrected. Unfortunately, this is only a second-level origin spiritual vein. If it were a higher-level origin spiritual vein, it would be better. If he wants to find a place to settle, he must first have an origin spiritual vein, otherwise, the terrain will change, and he will not be able to take root. However, a second-level origin spiritual vein is too weak. Lin Moyu thinks that at least a fourth-level origin spiritual vein is needed. If it can be higher, it will be better. The fourth level is the bottom line. First, take root and then slowly cultivate it. The spiritual flower had an excellent effect. The origin spiritual vein recovered quickly, and the aura it emitted became stronger and stronger. It was the first time that Lin Moyu felt the aura of the origin spiritual vein. The strong aura of the origin made him feel suffocated. In the origin continent, everything relies on the origin, and the origin spiritual vein is the best representative of the origin. Even if there is only a second-level origin spiritual vein, its aura is still strong. But before the origin spiritual vein could fully recover, the branch suddenly rolled up the origin spiritual vein and sent it to the root of the tree. The roots of the world tree stretched out and swallowed the origin spiritual vein directly. The rich origin aura completely disappeared and was entirely covered by the world tree. After swallowing the origin spiritual vein, the world tree rustled and began to grow again, and another batch of spiritual flowers and fruits started to grow. After the previous batch was used by the dragon riders, there were less than 100 spiritual flowers and fruits left. At this time, another batch grew rapidly, which was a good amount. Lin Moyu also understood that the growth of the world tree required the power of the origin. However, it did not care about ordinary origin crystals. What it needed was the origin spiritual vein. Lin Moyu's mouth twitched, they are so picky. If this continues, I really can't afford it. Infinite fusion requires spiritual materials, and the requirements are getting higher and higher. Judging from now, next time, at least Daozun level spiritual materials will be needed. The world tree directly wants the origin spiritual vein. It lacks the origin spiritual vein itself, so where can we find so many origin spiritual veins for it? The origin spiritual vein is more scarce than spiritual materials. So, these two guys are more difficult than each other. Lin Moyu sighed and left the real world. In the yard, Xiaoyu had finished refining the Shuangguang boxing gloves and was practicing with them. After the boxing gloves were refined, they were as light as nothing in Xiaoyu's hands and had no effect on her boxing. Soon, Xiaoyu had completely adapted to the Shuangguang boxing gloves. After Xiaoyu finished boxing, Lin Moyu took out 5 exquisite 5th-level origin crystals and embedded them in the boxing gloves. Then he brought Xiaoyu to the real world and asked her to punch him. Xiaoyu knew that she couldn't hurt Lin Moyu, so she activated the Shuangguang boxing gloves and punched Lin Moyu with all her strength. After several tests, Lin Moyu had completely understood the limits of the Shuangguang boxing gloves. Activating 1 origin crystal, the Shuangguang boxing gloves can hit an attack equivalent to a half-step supreme. Activating 3, the attack reaches the peak supreme. Activating all 5 origin crystals can hit a low-level Tianzun. 5 punches can be thrown in a row. After 5 punches, the boxing gloves will fall into cooling and need 10 minutes to recover. 5 exquisite 5th-level origin crystals are enough for Xiaoyu to hit thousands of punches, which can be used for a long time. The quality of the origin crystal is only related to the length of use, not the power. Even if you use 5 of the worst first-level origin crystals, you can hit a Tianzun realm punch, but it's only 1 punch. After testing the Shuangguang fist, Lin Moyu asked Xiaoyu to put away the gloves and then said, "Now I will teach you the second set of boxing. You can learn it first, and you don't have to practice it. When you enter Lation and break through the super god realm, you can practice the second set of boxing." Xiaoyu nodded, Baozi obeys. Lin Moyu taught Xiaoyu the second set of boxing of Julie Tianzun. The second set of boxing was just an improvement and upgrade on the first set of boxing, and most of it was the same. Xiaoyu only learned it twice and had mastered it completely. Julie Tianzun's boxing can refine the essence and the soul, which is very suitable for Xiaoyu. The first set can be practiced to the super god realm, and the second set can be practiced to the other shore realm. The second set of boxing is enough for Xiaoyu to practice. Lin Moyu drank tea, admired the Taiyan origin, and enjoyed the cool air brought by the sun origin. He didn't have a room to practice, but under the illumination of the Taiyan origin, Lin Moyu still felt that his cultivation had improved. After entering the origin continent, he has been adapting to the origin continent, and he has not yet fully adapted to the altar. There is no rush to practice. To adapt to the origin continent, for Lin Moyu, it is a process of consolidating the foundation. After Xiaoyu finished practicing boxing, Xiaoyu couldn't wait to pull Xiaoyu to play. This big child who has lived for tens of thousands of years still has a childlike heart and has endless games to play. Lin Moyu's ears suddenly moved, and he said to the two of them, "You play, I'll leave for a while." Xiao Wu asked, "Where are you going, master?" Lin Moyu said, "Someone is looking for me, I'll be back soon." After that, Lin Moyu left the yard and headed out of the city. Chapter 2554, 2554. Chapter 2554, How can you learn half of it? Lin Moyu left Laikang, his speed suddenly increasing as he crossed dozens of miles in an instant and arrived at a dense forest. Lu Fengqing looked at Lin Moyu and said coldly, "You little brat, you're really fast." It seemed there was a faint pressure on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's body sank slightly, feeling as if someone was pressing on his shoulders. It was hard to bear the pressure of a Taoist master. Lin Moyu clasped his fists and saluted calmly. "Lin Moyu greets Senior Lu. I wonder what you want with me this late at night." Lu Fengqing said coldly, "How do you know my last name is Lu?" Lin Moyu replied, "Senior's clothes have the logo of the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, indicating that you are a director of the chamber. And your appearance and temperament are somewhat similar to Miss Feng Yao, so I dare to guess that your last name is also Lu." Lu Fengqing's breath gradually softened, and the pressure disappeared. "It seems you really know Miss Feng Yao. Did you meet her in the Boundary Sea?" Lin Moyu said, "Yes, I was fortunate to execute the Boundary Sea mission with Miss Feng Yao, and we met as enemies." Lu Fengqing nodded and did not delve further into the question. "Do you know why I called you here?" Lin Moyu thought for a while and said carefully, "It should be about the auction and the matter of the Yin family." Lin Moyu could feel that Lu Fengqing had no ill intentions, so he did not hide anything. But he was also very confused. He had clearly erased all traces, so how could the other party still find him? Could it be that he had made a mistake? His mind turned quickly, but he felt that there was nothing wrong. He didn't know what went wrong. Lu Fengqing snorted, "You are smart and didn't hide anything. I want to ask you, who told you to mess with my formation?" Lin Moyu suddenly realized and smiled bitterly, "So you set up the formation." Only the person who set up the formation could sense that it had been tampered with and trace it back to him. He had calculated everything but didn't expect the owner of the formation to be present. He really hit a wall. Lu Fengqing said, "Do you know that tampering with other people's formations is equivalent to provocation?" Lin Moyu thought to himself, "I didn't expect the owner of the formation to be here. I'm really unlucky." He cursed his bad luck but said, "This time, it was indeed the junior who did something wrong. If the senior has any punishment, just tell me." Lu Fengqing said, "You are so straightforward. If that's the case, then let's do it this way. There are 3 formations here. If you can crack them all, I will spare you." Lu Fengqing waved his hand, and a breeze blew, revealing 3 formations behind him. Each formation was not large but very mysterious. Their complexity was among the best Lin Moyu had ever seen. Lin Moyu looked at them for a while and shook his head, "Except for the one in the middle, I can't crack the formations on the left and right." Lu Fengqing's eyes widened, "Why?" Lin Moyu said, "I only know the way of talisman formations. Only the one in the middle is a talisman formation. The 2 formations on the left and right, one is a weapon formation, and the other is a combination of a talisman formation and a weapon formation. I can't crack them." Lu Fengqing looked strange, "You haven't learned weapon arrays?" Lin Moyu said, "I have only learned runes and rune arrays, and I don't know much about weapon arrays. If it is a weapon array below the Supreme Realm, I can try to crack it. I have no experience with senior's weapon arrays." Lu Fengqing muttered, "The weapon array and the talisman array are never separated. I don't know where you learned it, but you only learned half of it. Forget it. In that case, let's do the talisman array, but the difficulty will be increased." Lu Fengqing waved his hand and removed the formations on the left and right, leaving only the one in the middle. He flicked his fingers and randomly ejected a few ancient talismans, which merged into the talisman array. The talisman array suddenly roared and quickly became powerful. The whole action seemed casual, but it contained a strong Taoist charm, which was pleasing to the eye. Lin Moyu saw Lu Fengqing's action, and his pupils shrank suddenly, exclaiming, "A thought becomes a talisman." What Lu Fengqing did was the highest realm in runes, where a thought becomes a talisman. What he ejected was only the power of the origin, which quickly turned into an ancient talisman under his thought. This is also the realm that the holy talisman Heavenly Venerable has always sought but cannot obtain in the big world. Among the holy talisman Heavenly Venerable, the highest realm of drawing talismans is to create a talisman with one thought. Unexpectedly, it was so easy and casual in Lu Fengqing's hands. Lu Fengqing seemed very satisfied with Lin Moyu's reaction. "You have a good eye, you know that I use a talisman with one thought." Lin Moyu said, "There was once a senior who described to me the highest realm of drawing runes, which is to create a talisman with one thought. Unfortunately, I have never seen it." Lu Fengqing suddenly said, "What is the highest realm of drawing talismans?" Although it is not easy to create a talisman with one thought, it is still far from the highest realm. I don't know what kind of inferior goods your senior is. Don't talk nonsense, and quickly crack this formation. As long as you can crack the formation, forget about the previous things. If you can't crack it, you should be mentally prepared. Lin Moyu had no choice but to go ahead. Although he was extremely talented in runes and had a special feeling that others did not have, he had no confidence in breaking the rune formation of the Daozun realm. When he came to the rune formation, Lin Moyu began to study it seriously. The rune formation was extremely complex, and countless ancient runes were spinning and flying in the formation, making Lin Moyu feel dizzy and his soul power consumed at an alarming rate. This feeling reminded Lin Moyu of when he was at a low level and overestimated his own ability by touching the fragments of the rune. The two feelings were very similar, both exposed to ancient runes that were much higher than their own realm. In the ancient rune world, it represents the Tao of the Great World. Everything in the Great World is composed of an extremely complex ancient rune. And in the Origin world, the solid rune also contains the avenue of the Origin world. Learning ancient runes is equivalent to practicing the avenue. There are some differences in details between the ancient runes of the Great World and the ancient runes of the Origin continent. A slight difference in runes can lead to a huge mistake. This is a good opportunity to compare the two runes. Lin Moyu realized that this was a great opportunity to learn the runes of the Origin continent. The world tree rustled, replenishing Lin Moyu's soul power continuously. Lin Moyu adjusted the consumption rate of his soul power to keep the replenishment rate and consumption rate consistent. Then, he fell into the ocean of rune knowledge again and began to wander. The difference between the runes of the two worlds was quickly found and corrected. Lin Moyu drew inferences from one instance, and after finding one difference point, he could think of the difference points of other runes. He began to draw runes, and runes were generated one by one at his fingertips and then dispersed. The runes drawn by Lin Moyu were changing from the runes of the Big World to the runes of the Origin continent. Chapter 2555, 2555. Chapter 2555, You're too early to thank me. Lu Fengqing watched Lin Moyu draw runes and finally understood why Lin Moyu had learned rune formations but not weapon formations. In the Origin continent, weapon formations and rune formations are never separated. But in some worlds within the Boundary Sea, this is not the case. So he comes from the Boundary Sea. Lu Fengqing realized that Lin Moyu's rune path originated from the Boundary Sea. The rune path in the Boundary Sea is incomplete and fundamentally different from that of the Origin continent. He was a little disappointed. People from the Boundary Sea, no matter how talented, are not much stronger. And their foundation has been laid. It is difficult to achieve great things. But why did Feng Yao grant him senior membership? Is there something special about this brat? Looking at him, although he is handsome, there are many more handsome than him. Lu Fengqing's eyes rose with an inexplicable breath, and gusts of breeze blew from all directions, silently brushing Lin Moyu. Lu Fengqing finally showed a look of shock. This kid is only over 2,000 years old. He has cultivated to the Heavenly Venerable realm in just over 2,000 years, and his foundation is extremely solid, even more solid than the geniuses of the Origin continent. This is a rare genius in 1,000 years who fought his way out from the Boundary Sea world. Lu Fengqing suddenly realized something was wrong. No, the kid just said that he and Feng Yao participated in the Boundary Sea order together. Only the Lord of the Boundary Sea world is eligible to participate in the Boundary Sea order. He is the Lord of the Boundary Sea, not from the Boundary Sea world. But this is not right. If he is not from the Boundary Sea world, how do we explain his runes? Lu Fengqing felt confused. Even with his Daozun brain, he couldn't figure it out. While he was thinking in confusion, Lin Moyu's movements became faster and faster. Runes were constantly being corrected, from runes in the Big World to runes in the Origin continent. Lin Moyu gradually realized the difference between the two, from knowing the external difference to understanding the internal difference. This allowed him to correct other runes himself. As long as the basic runes were corrected, then advanced runes and ancient runes would no longer be a problem. Lu Fengqing finally discovered this and was shocked again. This kid is really a rune genius. He has completed the rune correction in such a short time. Other rune geniuses from the Boundary Sea world would take at least half a year to a year. But he only has so much time. It is estimated that it will not take 2 hours. Compared to him, those so-called geniuses are simply idiots. Lin Moyu's speed was so fast that even Lu Fengqing, the Dao Zun, was shocked and speechless. After more than an hour, Lin Moyu completed the correction of most of the runes, and the remaining runes would not take much time. At this time, Lin Moyu heard Lu Fengqing's slightly impatient voice, "Are you done? When do you start?" Lin Moyu naturally knew that he could not hide the fact that he took the opportunity to learn runes from Lu Fengqing. But as long as Lu Fengqing did not say anything to stop him, he would learn it shamelessly. Now he also shamelessly responded, "Start now." Lin Moyu finally began to really study this rune formation. After the rune correction just now, Lin Moyu already had some understanding of this rune formation. Through a simple analysis of some of the unknown runes, he could also know their approximate functions. Lin Moyu quickly analyzed this rune formation. He could not accurately analyze the specific functions of the Dao Zun realm rune formation. Although this array looks small, it is actually more complicated than the array at the auction. Although I don't understand the function of the array, I don't need to understand it. I just need to break it. The method to break it is also very simple. As long as you break its balance, the array will naturally break. Lin Moyu found that this array has a very strong balance. As long as he breaks the balance, he can break the array. It is not easy to break the balance with external force. With his strength, it is almost impossible to do it. The balance cannot be broken from the outside, it can only be broken from the inside. Lin Moyu began to draw the ancient symbol. This ancient symbol is exactly the same as an ancient symbol in the array. As long as this ancient symbol can be integrated into the array, the balance of the array can be broken. Lu Fengqing looked at the ancient symbol drawn by Lin Moyu and laughed in his heart. He really found a way, but the real difficulty is how to send the ancient symbol into the array. It is not difficult to find a way to crack it, but it is difficult to send the ancient rune in. The rune array will reject external ancient runes, so it is not easy to get in. After Lin Moyu finished drawing the ancient rune, his soul power moved and began to adjust the vibration frequency of the ancient rune. He wanted to keep the vibration frequency of the ancient rune and the rune array consistent. The vibration frequency of the rune array has been changing all the time, and this change seems very chaotic and irregular. But Lin Moyu still found some rules from it. Every time the frequency of the rune array changes, it will last for about 0.1 seconds. That is to say, he needs to change the frequency of his ancient rune within 0.1 seconds after the vibration frequency of the rune array changes and send the auspicious rune in. Half a second is very short, but Lin Moyu feels that he can do it. He first slowly adjusts the vibration frequency of the ancient rune to get as close to the rune array as possible. The vibration frequency of the ancient rune keeps changing, making a sound that only Lin Moyu and Lu Fengqing can hear. Lu Fengqing is getting more and more surprised. His spiritual perception is so powerful, and his control of the frequency of the rune has reached a subtle level. He has a very strong talent for runes, the 10th person I have never seen. But it's not that easy to break my rune array. Before he finished his thought, Lin Moyu suddenly adjusted the frequency of the ancient rune quickly and pushed it into the rune array. Lin Moyu seized the opportunity and used 0.1 seconds to change the rune frequency and push it in. The whole action was like lightning and smooth, as if it was supposed to be like this. The ancient rune was integrated into the rune array very smoothly, and the balance of the rune array was broken and began to twist and deform. A few seconds later, accompanied by a slight sound, it broke on the spot. Lin Moyu looked at Lu Fengqing. "Senior, I have succeeded, right?" As a Taoist master, Lu Fengqing would not go back on his word. "Yes, you have succeeded. I will keep my word. I will forgive you for tampering with my formation." Lin Moyu immediately bowed. "Thank you for your magnanimity, senior." Lu Fengqing waved his hand. "Thank you too much. Now let's settle the matter of you tampering with the auction and affecting the fairness of the auction." Lin Moyu did not expect that Lu Fengqing would have this trick and couldn't help but smile bitterly. "How do you plan to settle it, senior?" Lu Fengqing took out a jade card. "Here is some basic knowledge of the array. You go back and study it yourself. In 3 days, I will come to test you. If you fail, you know the next step. After the voice fell, Lu Fengqing disappeared with a breeze. Only Lin Moyu was left in the breeze, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 2556, 2556. Chapter 2556. Learning the formation, the speed is a bit fast. When the Sun Origin regained control of the world, Lin Moyu returned to his yard. Xiaowu and Xiaoyu were sleeping soundly on the back of a calf, which had become their bed. They seemed to be sleeping more soundly than the calf itself. Hearing Lin Moyu's return, Xiaowu sleepily said, "Master, you're back." Lin Moyu nodded, "Yes, I'm back." "Oh," Xiaowu responded casually and closed her eyes again. Lin Moyu took out the jade token given by Lu Fengqing, feeling a bit helpless. "I already have enough things to do, and now I have more work." After arriving in the origin continent, Lin Moyu had many tasks at hand, leaving little time for his own cultivation. Unexpectedly, before he could finish his current tasks, new ones appeared. But he had no choice. Lu Fengqing's words were already spoken, leaving him no room to refuse. It was unwise to offend a Taoist master. The weapon array and the talisman array are inseparable. If this is the case in the origin continent, I need to fill this gap. His consciousness probed into the jade token, and he began to formally study the weapon array. The first information he received was the various basic knowledge of the weapon array. In the big world, there is also the theory of weapon arrays, and there have been many excellent array masters. However, in the big world, the talisman master and the array master are separate. The array master focuses on arrays, and the talisman master focuses on talismans, following two different routes. In the origin continent, the array and the talisman are not separated. Although there are two types of arrays, the weapon array and the talisman array, they are eventually combined, and the weapon and the talisman are fully integrated. In the origin continent, controlling the weapon with the talisman is the highest standard of the array. This is a path from simple to complex, and then from complex to simple. Lin Moyu learned the knowledge of the weapon array and had an epiphany. First, one practices the weapon array and the rune array separately, and then merges the two array methods. The merged array is very complicated, which is from simple to complex. After reaching the limit on this path, one simplifies it again, integrating the runes into the corresponding magic weapon, and finally turning it into an array treasure. Once the array treasure is created, the array is naturally formed, which is from complex to simple. Lin Moyu had a good understanding of the rune array and was very familiar with it. Although he had not systematically studied the weapon array, he had encountered it before. For example, the 10,000 stars array that comes with the Red Star Supreme bloodline is already the ultimate array in the big world. Lin Moyu had some basics, so he was not unfamiliar with the weapon array of the origin continent. A lot of knowledge about the weapon array was absorbed by Lin Moyu, and his understanding of the weapon array continued to deepen. 2 hours later, Lin Moyu suddenly took out 5 origin crystals, all of which were ordinary first-order origin crystals. With a flick of his finger, the origin crystals flew out naturally and formed a strange pattern in the void. The origin crystals emanated a strange power, which connected with each other, and then suddenly expanded to cover a circular area with a diameter of about 3 meters. This is the simplest formation among the weapon formations, which has the effect of sound insulation and concealment. The formation masters in the origin continent typically use this formation as their entry-level formation. Most formation masters can arrange this formation within a month after learning the weapon formation, which is considered extremely talented. If they can arrange the weapon formation within 10 days, they are top talents. But Lin Moyu, after learning the weapon formation, took less than 2 hours. And in these 2 hours, at least half an hour at the beginning was spent comparing the formations of the two worlds. The time he actually spent learning the formation was only a little more than an hour. It seems that I also have a talent for weapon formations. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, feeling a bit complacent. Xiaowu had woken up by this time, her big eyes wide open. "Master, are you learning the formation?" Lin Moyu nodded, "Just for fun." Xiaowu wondered, "What's the use of this formation?" Lin Moyu smiled, "No use." With a wave of his hand, the formation naturally dissipated and disappeared. Xiaowu looked around and felt that it was meaningless, so she went to play with Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu had already started her morning practice and was boxing in the yard. Lin Moyu continued to study the jade token. "The way of weapon formation is profound and extensive, and I have only touched the surface. The jade token given by Senior Lu records a total of 3 formations, each one more difficult than the other. It seems that to satisfy him, I have to master all 3 formations. Senior Lu doesn't actually want to do anything to me. He wants me to break the formation and learn the formation. Does he want to take me as his apprentice? Lin Moyu recalled Lu Fengqing's eyes and thought it was not impossible. No matter what, the thoughts of a Taoist master are hard to guess. Lin Moyu wiped away the messy thoughts in his mind and continued to study the array. To set up the array, magic weapons and various materials are needed. These magic weapons and materials are collectively called array tools. Some arrays are extremely special and require special array tools. Normally, the stronger the array tool, the stronger the array. Before finding a suitable array tool, you can use origin crystals instead. Origin crystals are universal array tools that can be used in various places. Only a small number of arrays cannot use origin crystals. The 3 arrays left by Lu Fengqing in the Jade token require different numbers of array tools. The first array requires 5, the second requires 10, and the third requires 20. Each array is more difficult than the last. When the sun origin was high in the sky, its scorching power fell on the earth. Lin Moyu flicked his fingers, and 20 origin crystals flew out. The origin crystals, guided by Lin Moyu's will, accurately fell into position, forming a peculiar shape. The origin breaths connected with each other, and in an instant, the whole yard shook. My array is done, Lin Moyu shouted, and the array was activated. Thunder suddenly sounded in the array, mixed with the sound of waves. In the area covered by this mine array, the enemy would be continuously attacked by thunder. However, the mine array is only a basic array in the weapon array, classified as a first-level, entry-level array. In Lin Moyu's eyes, this array is too weak and can only deal with the true God realm. With a wave of his hand, the array dissipated, and Lin Moyu shook his head gently. The first-level array is too weak. It took half a day, but Lin Moyu finally mastered all 3 arrays. Even for a top-level talented array master, it would take at least 2 months to master these 3 arrays. But Lin Moyu only took about 5 hours. If Lu Fengqing knew about this speed, he would probably jump up in shock. Even as a Taoist master, he couldn't remain calm. The formation above Thunder City suddenly sounded a deafening thunder, followed by lightning, which was many times stronger than the previous water mine formation. At the same time, the gate of the yard was violently knocked open, and Lei Pengpeng rushed in. Let's go watch the competition. She shouted and pulled Xiaowu and Xiaoyu out, ignoring Lin Moyu. Chapter 2557, 2557. Chapter 2557, How about registering as a talisman master? The formation above Likung continued to thunder. Lightning turned into a signpost pointing directly outside the city. Countless people walked out of the city, and for a time, the area outside the city was crowded. Several arenas had been set up outside the city, and practitioners were fighting in the arenas. As per usual practice, the Lei family took out 100 Laitian spots and distributed them through arena competitions. There were 6 arenas in total, representing different realms: Super God Realm, True God Realm, God King Realm, God Honor Realm, Other Shore Realm, Supreme Realm. The rules were simple. Practitioners entered the corresponding arena for competition. The winner stayed, and the loser stepped down. Those who won 5 consecutive matches could secure a spot. The quotas allocated to each realm varied. The Super God Realm and True God Realm each had 1 quota. The God King Realm and God Honor Realm each had 15 quotas. The Other Shore Realm had 20 quotas, and the Supreme Realm had 30 quotas. All spots were on a first-come, first-served basis until they were all taken. Participants needed to register at the Lei family's registration office, which would assign their order of appearance. These competitions were difficult to fake, even with friends involved. However, absolute fairness was not guaranteed, and the Lei family did not pursue it. In Likung, they set the rules, and everyone had to abide by them. If you had the ability, you could compete; if not, you had to leave. It was that simple. Lei Pengpeng rushed out of the city with Xiaowu and Xiaoyu, heading straight to the arena area, excitedly watching others fight. Lin Moyu and Lei Sanxiang followed behind, both feeling a bit helpless. Lei Sanxiang looked at Lei Pengpeng, who was surprisingly energetic and fully recovered, and there was always a smile in his eyes. Lin Moyu smiled and said, after Miss Pengpeng recovered, her cultivation progressed very quickly. It can be considered a blessing in disguise. Lei Sanxiang narrowed his eyes. This is all thanks to fellow Taoist Lin. Otherwise, Peng Peng would have only suffered misfortune, not blessing. The evil soul that once attached itself to Lei Peng Peng like a parasite left a part of its soul power after death. All this soul power became Lei Peng Peng's nutrients. In just a few days, Lei Peng Peng's realm had greatly improved. It wouldn't take long for her to reach the true God realm. And the true God realm was not the limit. According to Lin Moyu's estimation, Lei Peng Peng could reach the godly realm in a short time. Lin Moyu said, Peng Peng will also go on this trip to Leishan. Lei Sanxiang nodded, she will go. In fact, whether Peng Peng was cured or not, she would go. Lin Moyu understood what Lei Sanxiang meant. Peng Peng was injured in Leishan. If there had been no other way, perhaps only Leishan could have provided a rescue. Fortunately, Lin Moyu appeared and cured Lei Peng Peng. This time, Peng Peng went to Leishan not to save her life but to practice. As the little princess of the Lei family, no one dared to object to her entering the core of Leishan. Lei Sanxiang said, Miss Xiaoyu should gain a lot from entering the core of Leishan this time. Lin Moyu smiled, I hope so. I wonder when the trip to Leishan will start. Lei Sanxiang said, tomorrow at noon, when the origin of the sun is the strongest, we will open Leishan. The competition in the arena was in full swing. The people who scrambled for the Leishan spot at the auction were also fighting to the death here. The fights on each stage were extremely exciting. The practitioners used all their skills to fight for the top spot. Lei Peng Peng pulled Xiaowu and Xiaoyu, constantly shuttling between the various stages, cheering for one and then going to another, having a lot of fun. In the arena, it was not easy to maintain 10 consecutive victories. But those who could achieve 10 consecutive victories were all strong people in the same realm. The arena competition would be held until the sun rose the next day. If the quotas had not been filled by then, the Lei family would distribute the remaining spots based on the stage results. So many people, even if they failed, as long as the results were acceptable, still had a glimmer of hope. Lin Moyu asked, what is the situation in Leishan? Lei Sanxiang said, it's not a secret. Under Leishan is an origin spiritual vein. Likung and my Lei family rely on this origin spiritual vein. This is well known, but many people don't know that there is a natural formation on this origin spiritual vein. This formation is extremely complex. Our Lei family has only cracked a small part of it over the years. Lei Sanxiang's words were brief and did not go into detail, but he believed that Lin Moyu could figure it out. What he said was not a big secret, and he would not reveal the real secret. There is a natural formation on the origin of Leishan's spiritual vein, and the top leaders of many powers know it. Lin Moyu said to himself, the natural formation on the origin of the spiritual vein is really difficult. The naturally formed formation is like a natural barrier, and with the continuous power provided by the origin of the spiritual vein, it is really difficult to crack. Lei Sanxiang sighed, that's right. The 7th level formation master in the Hanshui Holy Land has come to see it, but the result was helpless. Lin Moyu suddenly asked, Senior Sanxiang, do you know which senior of the Lu family arranged the formation in the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce? Lei Sanxiang said, of course I know. The number 1 formation master in the Lu family is Senior Lu Fengqing, who is also a 7th level formation master. So his name is Lu Fengqing. Lu Fengqing and Lu Fengyao, it seems they are from the same family. Lin Moyu thought to himself, and he was relieved. He knew that Lu Fengqing would not really do anything to him. Lei Sanxiang continued to mutter, even the 7th level formation master can't do anything. Unless there is an 8th level formation master, my Lei family may really be helpless with this formation. In the origin continent, whether it is a formation master, a talisman master, an alchemist, or a weapon refiner, they can be divided into 1 to 9 levels. Levels 1 to 3 are directly called formation masters, alchemists, etc. Levels 4 to 6 can be called masters, such as alchemy masters and formation masters. And after the 7th level, they are respectfully called grand masters. No matter which one, once you become a grand master, your status will be completely different. Grand master level people will be respected wherever they go. Lin Moyu thought to himself, with my rune level, I wonder what level 1 can be considered. Should I go to the Rune Master Association and register as a rune master? In this way, I will have an identity in the origin continent, and it will be much more convenient to move around. Array masters need to understand weapon arrays and rune arrays. If you want to understand rune arrays, you need to know runes very well. But there is another type of rune master. Although some rune masters can arrange rune arrays, They do not use weapon arrays, so they study runes and take a completely different path. Rune masters tell everyone on the origin continent that runes are not only used to arrange arrays but can also do many other things. Even many rune masters feel that as long as the rune array is evolved to the extreme, it will not be weaker than the array method combining runes and weapons. Lei Sanxiang looked at Lin Moyu with a smile. It seems that fellow Taoist Lin is also quite interested in refining pills and refining instruments. Lin Moyu said, I know nothing about alchemy and refining, but I know a thing or two about runes. I can try it after this trip to Latian is over. Lei Sanxiang said, okay, I will take you there then. Chapter 2558, 2558. Chapter 2558, Latian Mountain Range, Lei Family Heritage. The sun set, and the moon rose. Under the shining lunar origin, the arena was still in full swing. When the sun origin appeared again, completing the rotation of the sun and moon, the Lei family manager gave an order, and the arena competition ended. Most of the 100 spots had been allocated, with only a few remaining to be distributed by the Lei family. The Lei family allocated the remaining spots according to different realms and scores. Some people were dissatisfied and raised objections during the process, but they were immediately suppressed by the Lei family. Lei Sanxiang and Lin Moyu stood in the air, watching the entire process. Lei Sanxiang asked, what do you think of my Lei family's approach? Lin Moyu replied, this is the way of the world. It is impossible to convince people with reason alone. You can only convince people with strength. They are not wrong, and the country is not wrong. Lei Sanxiang said, in fact, my Lei family does this to teach them not to be so naive in the future. Lin Moyu agreed, naive people will die early. Lei Sanxiang laughed heartily, yes, the naive ones will die early. Let's go to Latian. Don't worry about Peng Peng and the others. Someone will naturally bring them here. Within the sphere of influence of my Lei family, they will be fine even if they make a fuss. Lei Sanxiang flew towards Latian, and Lin Moyu followed closely. Latian is not far from Laikang, only about 100 kilometers. After flying for a while, the entire Latian mountain range came into view. On Latian, silver snakes flew like dragons. The sound of thunder resounded through the sky. Latian does not refer to a single mountain but a mountain range. There is a powerful origin spiritual vein under the Latian mountain range, and coupled with the natural formation, the entire mountain range is shrouded in thunder all year round. The closer to the center, the stronger the thunder. Lei Sanxiang introduced, the Latian mountains are about 10,000 miles deep, and part of them extends deep underground. No one knows how deep they go. The area open to our Lei family is in the direction of Laikang, 200 miles before entering the mountains. The core area is about 500 miles away. Lei Sanxiang took Lin Moyu into the Latian mountains. After flying 100 miles, Lin Moyu saw an ancient castle. The castle was crowded with people, supporting a formation. The formation echoed the thunder in the sky and was faintly connected to the formation in Laikang. It was precisely because of the existence of this formation that Lin Moyu was not attacked by thunder after entering the Latian mountains. Lei Sanxiang said, if someone enters Latian at other times, they will be attacked by thunder. The deeper they go, the greater the power of the thunder. After more than 1,000 miles, even a Taoist master will find it difficult to move. The Latian mountain range is 10,000 miles deep, and even Dao Zun can only enter within 1,000 miles. It shows how powerful Latian is. Lin Moyu looked at the ancient castle, where many Lei family members were active. Is this ancient castle the place where the Lei family made their fortunes in the past? Lei Sanxiang laughed, friend Dao Lin, you have good eyesight. This is indeed the place where my Lei family made their fortunes. Lin Moyu could see that the ancient castle was very old, and many places in it were different from the style of the Lei family. Obviously, the ancient castle was not built by the Lei family. It is very likely that the Lei family discovered the ancient castle and made their fortunes by leveraging it. Lei Sanxiang did not hide this fact, which shows that the Lei family has completely controlled this place and is not afraid of others knowing it. Lin Moyu observed carefully and found that the location of this ancient castle seemed very special, situated in a very unique position. But Lin Moyu could not see what was special about it, just felt that it was unusual. The two passed the ancient castle and continued forward. After flying more than 100 miles, a second castle appeared in sight. It looked the same as the previous castle, the only difference being its location. Lin Moyu frowned slightly, feeling more and more uneasy. Lei Sanxiang noticed Lin Moyu's expression. Did Taoist Lin see anything? Lin Moyu thought for a while. The locations of the two castles are a bit special. They seem to be built along a special vein. They appear to be more than 100 miles apart, but they are actually part of a whole. Lei Sanxiang laughed. Taoist Lin has good eyesight. I mentioned before that there is a natural formation in the Laishan Mountains, and the two castles are located at the nodes of this natural formation. It is precisely with these two that our Lei family can control this area. Lin Moyu showed a strange look. Isn't this a secret? Lei Sanxiang shook his head. Of course not. Many people know, but what if they know? Did they dare to rob it? Even if the Taoist master of the Holy Land comes, he can't take it. He said it with great confidence. Lin Moyu realized that these two castles might just be the visible power of the Lei family. The Lei family may control more than just these 2 points in the natural formation of the Laishan Mountains. The Lei family can manipulate the power of Laishan through the nodes they control. Even the Daozen of the Holy Land cannot pose a threat to the Lei family. This is the Lei family's confidence. Laikung is just the outer layer. The real foundation of the Lei family is in Laishan. After Lei Sanxiang took Lin Moyu over the second castle, they landed on a mountainside. After the mountainside was repaired, a circular square with a diameter of about 1 kilometer was formed. There were already many Lei family members here, and they were ready. Every time Laishan is opened, it is a big event for the Lei family, and the Lei family prepares early. When Lei Sanxiang arrived, the children of the Lei family greeted him one after another. A Lei family heavenly venerable ran over quickly and saluted Lei Sanxiang respectfully. Third Master, you are here. Lei Sanxiang waved his hand. Go and do your work first, don't worry about me. Okay, Third Master, do as you please. Lei Sanxiang is the younger brother of the Lei family's patriarch, ranking third, and the Lei family members call him Third Master. Lei Sanxiang pointed to the other side, where 200 Lei family members stood in a square formation. These are the children of my Lei family who are going to enter Laishan this time. Fellow Taoist Lin, take a look at this momentum, is it okay? The 200 Lei family members were of different realms, from the super god realm to the supreme realm. They were dressed uniformly, all exuding a powerful aura. As members of the Lei family, most of them practiced thunder magic, and their temperaments were extremely sharp. Each person was like a sharp knife and thunder, making it difficult for others to look directly at them. This kind of sharpness gradually disappears when one reaches the heavenly venerable realm, integrating yin and yang. Lin Moyu said, Laishan has a great opportunity. Why should the family share such a good opportunity? Lei Sanxiang laughed and said, the ancestor once said that any opportunity cannot be monopolized by one family and needs to be shared. Sometimes, it is an opportunity, but also a cause and effect. It is not a good thing for one family to monopolize it. Lin Moyu had some understanding of cause and effect, so he could understand the meaning of Lei Sanxiang's words. Opportunity is also cause and effect. If the cause and effect are too great, the Lei family may not be able to bear it. So dividing the quota and the opportunity is actually letting others share the cause and effect. Lin Moyu said, the ancestor of the Lei family is very wise. Lei Sanxiang said, indeed, the wisdom of the ancestor is beyond our comparison. Suddenly, a chill spread from afar like a sharp arrow, and the temperature dropped suddenly. Lei Sanxiang said, the people from the Hanshui Holy Land have arrived. Chapter 2559, 2559. Chapter 2559, is it Xiaoyu from Linhai City? The troops of Hanshui Holy Land arrived with a biting cold. Their team was larger than the Lei families, and at the front was a luxurious sedan chair, almost like a palace. It was pulled by 2 white horses with wings, known as flying snow-white horses, unique to Hanshui Holy Land. These horses were not only used for pulling carriages and riding but were also excellent fighting spirit beasts. The weakest among them, after reaching adulthood, was at the Supreme Realm, and the strongest could reach the Heavenly Master Realm. Hanshui Holy Land had an army composed of flying snow-white horses, making their combat power extremely formidable. The Lei family had given Hanshui Holy Land 400 ordinary places and 4 core places. The specific distribution of these places was entirely up to Hanshui Holy Land. Generally, they would keep 100 ordinary places and 2 core places, distributing the rest among their subordinates. Perhaps they didn't want to be involved in such a significant cause and effect. What the Lei family ancestor understood, Hanshui Holy Land could definitely understand as well. Those who received these quotas also came with the Hanshui Holy Land team, wearing various types of clothing. Lei Sanxiang called out loudly, "Who is the elder of the Holy Land team this time?" The sedan chair opened, and with a chill, Ji Yu Nianhai flew out. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. What a coincidence. Lei Sanxiang asked, "Does fellow Taoist Lin know him?" Lin Moyu nodded. "Elder Ji Yu Nianhai, I just met him some time ago." Ji Yu Nianhai also saw Lin Moyu and narrowed his eyes. "Boy, we meet again." Lin Moyu laughed. Lin Moyu greets the senior. "How are you, senior? I wonder if fellow Taoist Nianshui has come." Ji Yu Nianhai waved his hand. "Don't try to get close to me. You know what you have done. You are lucky I didn't settle the score with you." At this time, a cold voice came from the sedan. "Grandpa, I heard someone calling my name." The sedan opened again, and Ji Yu Nianshui appeared at the door. After seeing Lin Moyu, Ji Yu Nianshui frowned slightly, then smiled. "Senior Lin, we meet again." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Yeah, what a coincidence." Lin Moyu noticed that Ji Yu Nianshui's temperament had changed significantly. There was a faint murderous aura around him, indicating that he was practicing the secret method inherited by the Horned Dragon Star Lord. This level of murderous aura was too weak for Lin Moyu, but Ji Yu Nianshui's cultivation had progressed rapidly. In just a few days, he was about to reach the Supreme Realm. Previously, he was a saint, 10 steps away from the Supreme. Now, he had become a half-step Supreme, and after the trip to Laishan, he would likely become a Supreme. Lei Sanxiang saw some clues and sensed there were issues between Lin Moyu and Ji Yu Nianshui. Ji Yu Nianshui approached Lin Moyu. "Senior Lin, are you going to enter Laishan too? It seems that Laishan is useless to you." Lin Moyu said, "It's not me entering Laishan, but my disciple. I didn't expect fellow Taoist Nianshui to come too." Ji Yu Nianshui was a little surprised. "I didn't expect you to have a disciple. He must be very talented." Lin Moyu laughed. "He's okay, but I can't compare to you. You've made great progress in cultivation recently. It seems that Xingjun's inheritance is extraordinary." Ji Yu Nianshui laughed lightly. "Nianshui's murderous aura is nothing compared to yours. Even the murderous aura of the Star Lord is just child's play in front of you." The two laughed at each other like two old foxes. Lei Sanxiang was slightly surprised. "I heard before that there was a genius in the Holy Land who got the inheritance of a certain Star Lord. I didn't expect him to be so young." Ji Yu Nianshui saluted Lei Sanxiang. "Senior, you are too kind. Nianshui is just lucky. It is also because Senior Lin did not compete with me, otherwise, this inheritance would not be mine." Lei Sanxiang felt he could not understand Lin Moyu more and more. Not only could he cure injuries that even Dao Zun was helpless to treat, but he also possessed 3 great ways and now could even give up the inheritance of Xingjun. And from what they said, the murderous aura of the Star Lord is not as good as Lin Moyu's. There are only a few Star Lords famous for their murderous aura, and the most likely ones are... Lei Sanxiang looked at Ji Yu Nianhai. "Fellow Taoist Ji Yu, is the Star Lord inheritance obtained by the Holy Land the Horned Dragon Star Lord?" Ji Yu Nianhai smiled. "Yes, it is the Horned Dragon Star Lord." Lei Sanxiang murmured, "The Horned Dragon Star Lord is in charge of killing. Every time he appears in the world, he will inevitably set off a bloody storm. I don't know where the bloody place is this time." Ji Yu Nianhai said, "Our Holy Land already has a countermeasure, so fellow Taoist Lei doesn't have to worry." Lei Sanxiang nodded. "Well, I believe the Holy Land will handle it." At the same time, he sent a voice transmission to Lin Moyu. "Fellow Taoist Lin, you have to be careful." Lin Moyu nodded slightly in response. He would naturally be careful. It would be best not to provoke the Holy Land. If he really had to provoke it, although he couldn't win, it would not be a problem to save his life. Another team arrived. This team was extremely large, composed of people who had won quotas through the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce and those who had won quotas in the arena competition. They came under the leadership of the Lei family. You can't walk around in Laishan. Once you leave the range of the formation, you may be bombarded by thousands of thunders. The Lei family had been waiting outside Laikeng early and brought everyone here when they arrived. Lei Pengpeng, Xiao Wu, and Xiao Yu were also in the team. The 3 of them sat on the back of the calf and flew at the front of the team. With Lei Pengpeng, the little princess of the Lei family, she could do whatever she wanted, and the Lei family would only follow her and dare not have any objections. After meeting Lin Moyu, Xiao Wu commanded the calf to fly over. Xiaowu took the lead, flew out of the calf, turned into lightning, and hung on Lin Moyu. Master, why did you come here alone first? Lin Moyu laughed, why are you hanging on again? Xiaowu sniffed the smell on Lin Moyu's body with her little nose, it's been a long time since I hung on. Xiaowu wants to hang on for a while. Xiaowu didn't care about other people's eyes. As long as she wanted to hang on, she must hang on. Lin Moyu also knew, so he let her do it. After all, she is also a Tianzun, and there are few people who dare to laugh at her. Lei Pengpeng asked curiously, is it fun for Sister Xiaowu to hang on? Xiaowu nodded, it's fun. The master smells so good. Lei Pengpeng said, I want to hang on too. Ahem. Lei Sanxiang immediately stopped Lei Pengpeng. Pengpeng, no. Lei Pengpeng said, oh, okay. She could only give up. She naturally knew that it was not possible. Xiaoyu finally jumped off the calf and called sweetly, Master. Lin Moyu touched Xiaoyu's head, don't be nervous. Practice well later. Xiaoyu nodded, Master, don't worry. Xiaoyu will practice hard. Ji Yu Nianshui's eyes lit up, Senior Lin, is this the disciple you accepted? Lin Moyu nodded, the only disciple. Ji Yu Nianshui said, she said her name is Xiaoyu. Is she Xiaoyu from Linhai City? Lin Moyu looked at Ji Yu Nianshui unkindly, some things are over. Ji Yu Nianshui suddenly felt an invisible pressure falling on him. Lin Moyu's eyes contained murderous intent, making him very uncomfortable. At this time, Ji Yu Nianhai took a step forward and blocked in front of Ji Yu Nianshui, also staring at Lin Moyu unkindly. Lei Sanxiang also moved half a step without saying a word, just blocking in front of Lin Moyu. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. Chapter 2560, 2560. Chapter 2560, I'm not done with you. The incident involving the Lan family in Linhai City happened not long ago. At that time, Lan Tianyu secretly attacked and tried to harm someone named Xiaoyu. The name matched, the age matched, and Lin Moyu had also been in Linhai City before, so Ji Yu Nianshui instinctively felt that the Xiaoyu in front of him was the same Xiaoyu that Lan Tianyu had mentioned. Xiaoyu hid behind Lin Moyu and carefully poked her head out, Master, did I say something wrong? She looked like a child who had done something wrong, lowering her head and feeling very scared. Xiaowu jumped off Lin Moyu and glared at Ji Yu Nianshui and the others, who dares to bully Sister Xiaoyu? Believe it or not, I'll make them suffer a great misfortune. She was not afraid of Ji Yu Nianshui and the others at all, because her eyes were more discerning than anyone else's. It was a pity that Xiaowu looked too cute, and her fierce appearance did not have any deterrent power. But Xiaowu's aura of the Tianzun realm was real and not deceptive at all. Lei Pengpeng also joined in, who dares to bully Xiaoyu? I'll be the first to disagree. She suddenly glanced at Xiaowu and then quickly changed her words, no, I'll be the second to disagree. The originally tense atmosphere became a little more relaxed with the addition of these two funny characters. Lin Moyu reached out and patted Xiaowu on the head, why are you yelling? You have nothing to do here. Xiaowu's head shrank, don't hit people on the head, it'll make them stupid. Lin Moyu smiled and ignored her, but looked at Ji Yu Nianshui, this matter is over, and the Lan family is no longer there. If you want to talk about this matter, then Lin can only sacrifice his life to accompany you. Although the Holy Land is strong, I am not afraid of the group. Lin Moyu said it very bluntly. Xiaoyu is indeed the Xiaoyu mentioned by Lan Tianyu. I did what I did to Lan Tianyu. What do you want? Ji Yu Nianhai sneered repeatedly, the boy is very brave. A mere Tianzun dares to challenge the Holy Land. Lin Moyu shook his head, Senior is wrong. I have never thought of challenging the Holy Land. It's just that I believe in a saying, once a teacher, a father for life. Whoever wants to touch my disciple, I, as a master, will naturally not agree. And, he looked at Ji Yu Nianshui, fellow Taoist Nianshui, don't forget your soul oath. Even if the Holy Land has means to evade it, I think it will have to pay a price. Fellow Taoist Nianshui, think about it and see if it's worth it. Lin Moyu was very tough and had no intention of giving in. Ji Yu Nianhai said coldly, it's just a soul oath. At this time, Lei Sanxiang suddenly interrupted Ji Yu Nianhai, fellow Taoist Ji Yu, you are a distinguished guest of our Lei family. Ji Yu Nianhai raised his eyebrows, does your Lei family also want to participate in this matter? Lei Sanxiang said, little friend Lin has done a great favor to my Lei family. Within the scope of our Lei family, we must protect him. Ji Nianhai obviously didn't believe it, he is just a Tianzun. What great favor can he do to your Lei family? Lei Pengpeng jumped up, my illness was cured by the senior. People from your holy land have also come to see it, but they had no solution at all. It's really useless. After saying that, Lei Pengpeng didn't forget to make a face. Ji Nianhai was shocked. He looked at Lei Sanxiang, really? Lei Sanxiang nodded, it's true. Fellow Taoist Lin is the benefactor of my Lei family. We can't just sit back and do nothing. Ji Nianhai knew about Lei Pengpeng's illness. At that time, a Taoist master in the Holy Land went to see her but was helpless. He didn't expect that Lei Pengpeng's strange illness was actually cured by Lin Moyu. Ji Nianhai knew that Lei Sanxiang would not joke about this matter, it must be true. Now, things became tricky. He wanted to attack Lin Moyu, at least not within the Lei family's territory. Even though the Lei family obeyed the orders of the Hanshui Holy Land, the Lei family was not like other forces that were dependent on the Hanshui Holy Land. On the contrary, in addition to Licheng, there were many forces that also relied on the origin spiritual vein that snaked out from Leishan. These forces can basically be regarded as the subordinates of the Lei family. If the Holy Land must fight with the Lei family, it will naturally win, but it will also pay a heavy price. The Lei family is not a soft persimmon and is not something that can be squeezed at will. Hey, it's so lively. Suddenly a voice sounded, and several people turned their heads and saw someone flying from afar. He did not move forward according to the route given by the Lei family but walked on the edge of the formation. Countless thunders fell from the sky and struck him. But strangely, whenever the thunder was about to strike him, he could always dodge at the last moment. No matter how dense the thunder was, it could not strike him. Just this move revealed the extraordinary nature of the other party. Ji Nianhai frowned at the person who came. Crazy old man, why are you here? Lei Sanxiang also laughed and said, it turns out to be Senior Fengqing. What brings you here? The person who came was Lu Fengqing, and only a master of formations like him could move freely in this natural formation. Lu Fengqing kept wandering in the formation, passing through the thousands of thunders without being touched by a single one. He was a bit unrestrained, like a true immortal, flying out of the formation and coming to the front of several people. I happened to be hosting an auction in Licheng and found some interesting things, so I stayed for a few days. It just so happened that your Lei family's Leishan was opened, so I came to join in the fun. Ji Nianhai blew his beard. When did you, a crazy old man, join in the fun? I think you want to take advantage of the formation in Leishan. Lu Fengqing snorted, with your wisdom, it's hard for me to explain to you. Just say whatever you want. You, Ji Nianhai shouted angrily, and the breath of the Daozhen realm surged. Lu Fengqing said coldly, what? You want to fight me? Believe it or not, I will surround you with magic. Ji Nianhai shouted angrily, you dare. Lu Fengqing snorted, what's there to be afraid of? If you don't believe me, you can try it. Ji Nianhai was so angry that he blew his beard and glared. He knew very well that this crazy old man could really make a bed. Lu Fengqing ignored Ji Nianhai and looked at Lin Moyu, why are you here instead of studying the formation well? Lin Moyu said, my junior disciple is going to enter Leishan, and I have mastered the formation you gave me. Lu Fengqing said, oh, and suddenly his eyes widened, what did you say? You have mastered it, is it the first method? Lin Moyu shook his head, I have mastered all three formations. Lu Fengqing's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief, show it to me. Lin Moyu took out a handful of origin crystals, which seemed to pop out casually, and the origin crystals quickly formed a mine formation. Lu Fengqing's eyes widened and almost popped out, have you learned it before? Lin Moyu's movements were natural and freehand, not like someone who had just come into contact with the array. Lin Moyu shook his head, I have seen the array, but I have never learned it. Lu Fengqing's eyes swept over Lin Moyu, and finally, he suddenly said to Ji Nianhai, old man, if you dare to touch him, I will never let you go.